This is The Gorge, the podcast where my friends and I get together and we gorge ourselves on what's happening in the world of video games and entertainment.
After a long break, we're back. The Gorge is brought to you by Patreon. That's patreon.com/thegorge, where for just $5 a month, you gain access to not one, but two entire podcasts. $5 gets you takeout, a monthly commentary track. We don't feel like playing something, so we talk over something we're watching instead. And $2 is the grab bag tier. It's everything else. I'm tired. I don't feel like doing the whole spiel. Patreon.com/thegorge. There you go.
There we go.
If you're listening to this as it's going live, you'll understand, A, it's been a couple weeks since we've been gone, and we'll get into that during the thing. And B, also, while we were gone, the entire world burned down. We are now, like, crawling through the ashes and cinders like salamanders, looking desperately for nutrients.
Now, in the before times...
Yeah, no, it's the day after the U.S. election. Very funny. The most predictable possible outcome.
It's
what else do you want me to say, folks?
It literally feels like the end of that one episode of SpongeBob, where after they use the utility belt to shrink everything, because SpongeBob was using the belt to turn everything from Minnie to Wumbo. Mm-hmm. And then Plankton just gets back from his vacation and he sees the city is like the same size as him. Mm-hmm. That's how I feel right now.
Yeah. So yeah. I don't. It's fine. Who cares? There's gonna be 1,000 think pieces about it. I don't feel like talking about it. I watched Gravity Falls. I liked it a lot.
Show's good as hell.
I think I'm gonna make Ben watch it at gunpoint so we could talk about it proper like at some point.
I did.
Because I did
watch the first episode of my lunch break today. Because I was like, I finished up an episode of Star Trek. And then I was like, well, I have plenty of time. I could watch something else.
Ben.
What?
How could you not have watched Gravity Falls, a series that is literally built on the back of Simpsons writers?
I watched, when it came out, I watched like the first half of season 1 as it was airing, and then just
fell off.
Didn't keep going with it because
that's fair.
I believe it was just in that era where, streaming didn't exist.
Yeah.
So I was kind of depending on finding links to MP4s on 4chan when the episode went up.
Yeah, because this was, I want to say 2012 or 2013. So
2012, yeah.
Yeah, so like, we didn't, like, I don't think, if Hulu existed, there was not a lot on it yet.
No, it did not have the same capability.
Yeah, no.
Before it was bought by Disney.
Gravity Falls aired on television.
Yeah, it was like a TV show. Remember those?
Yeah, remember when, you had to turn a channel on your TV, and then you would watch it at a specific time to catch it?
It's crazy.
If you didn't catch it, you couldn't watch it.
That I remember that model of content production. It worked really well for Steven Universe.
Yeah.
Remember back in the day when a studio or a network would make a show that they didn't want to succeed, so they would air it at 5 a.m. on a weekday.
Or if you're Titmouse Studios, they just air your episodes out of order for no fucking reason.
Just to be spiteful, yeah. But I did watch all Gravity Falls. I really, really liked it. It scratched almost the exact same itch as Twin Peaks, which is funny because I watched that earlier this year. So, which makes sense. I mean, Alex Hirsch is like just doing a David Lynch impression.
Well, that's the funniest. I don't know the veracity of this story, but it's one I've heard before from multiple people, so I think there's a nugget of truth on it. Gravity Falls is not based on Twin Peaks. It's based on a show that Alex Hirsch watched on a local television station that was itself a ripoff of Twin Peaks, and he did not realize that was ripping off Twin Peaks until significantly later.
Not until during production of season 1. So, he didn't even know until, the show was already, off the ground and had a pilot.
Okay, see, I buy that. I do not buy that he there are no explicit Twin Peaks references in it, because there's an episode where Dipper meets Gideon at a restaurant that is explicitly the Red Room.
Oh yeah.
Now, granted, it could have been at that point in production he had watched Twin Peaks because
I believe that. Yeah.
Someone said, "Hey, this show is Twin Peaks," and he went, "What? No, it's based on this." Oh my God, this was Twin Peaks.
Yeah, that is about his description for how that went, which is why season 2 has so much more explicit Twin Peaks stuff in it. Because by that point he had gone and watched it and went, "Oh fuck, this is so much better than the local show I was ripping off."
That's very reminiscent to when I discovered that Persona 4 is based heavily on Diamond is Unbreakable, and then went, no, it's not. It's based heavily on Twin Peaks, which is also what Diamond is Unbreakable is based on.
I had a very funny thing watching, because recently the Gigaboots boys, they played through A Deadly Premonition again, which is a game that does not age very well, I'm realizing having watched it. However, I've always thought of that game as being like, oh yeah, it's the Naked Twin Peaks knockoff game. And there is a lot of stuff in it that is nakedly Twin Peaks knockoffs. But more than that, that game is nakedly a Mizurna Falls knockoff.
Yes, that game is like blatantly... Now, I will say, Swery says it's not based off of Twin Peaks. He's lying.
Yeah, he's 100% lying. But what I think happened is he's like, well, I want to make Mizurna Falls, but I can't just make Mizurna Falls because that's someone else's game and I'll get in trouble. I know. I'll dilute it with this little thing called Twin Peaks, which is kind of similar, not realizing that he's kind of doing, like, if you were to make a coffee and instead of putting milk in it, you put coffee milk in it.
Yeah.
Like, you have increased the amount of coffee per coffee.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's specifically, the two I'm referring to, Ben, is Oakley and Weinstein, who are the pair who wrote Who Shot Mr. Burns.
Oh, I did not realize they were part of Gravity Falls.
They are the Gravity Falls writers. Like they write scripts for it.
That's
interesting.
Great. That makes sense.
Gravity Falls is 100% a show that is written with the fucking Simpsons classic like comedic weight behind it.
Yes.
The show's incredibly funny.
I don't remember if it's Oakley or if it's Weinstein, but one of them leaves to join Amphibia, which is why Ben likes Amphibia so much.
Yes, and Sarah, I would recommend you migrate to Amphibia.
I obviously say otherwise and say you should pivot to the Owl House, but that's mostly just
flavors.
I think it's mostly like Amphibia is like if you are a teenage girl who grew up liking like The Simpsons and the Fairly Odd Parents and like other like and Dragon Ball a bit. But the Owl House reads more like somebody who's like, I watched a little bit of Dragon Ball Z, but mostly like Sailor Moon and like Full Metal Alchemist, that kind of thing.
That little lesbian girl who's the main character is very Juno core.
Yeah.
And honestly, without talking too much about who she is, Ida is like aggressively just, what if Retica was in her 50s?
Sure. It's gonna get watched. People keep telling me to watch Owl House, and I understand, but like, give me a little bit. I just watched. I'd like to marinate on it for a little bit.
I mean, like, and I haven't watched Owl House. I'm probably not going to watch it anytime soon. It's just not my strike zone. However, it does have that Matthew Kazan doing character designs on that. And although I resent that show for making him not post art on Tumblr as much, I am never going to say no to seeing more Matthew Kazan art.
Right.
Also, I would recommend watching Amphibia because there's an episode where Grunkle Stan and Seuss appear.
Oh, that's fun. Right. That's cute.
Yeah.
That would have been at like the. Oh wait, no, I'm thinking a different network. Never mind.
There's also the episode where Kermit the Frog shows up because it's Amphibia. So of course Kermit. Of course. If you're going to have a Disney crossover, it's Kermit.
That's cute. That's. I mean, what else? There's a bunch of other stuff we did, but we did it as a group. Did I do any? Wait, I made notes. For once in my life, I had to write down all the stuff I've done lately because we've done a lot. We watched all of Pluto together while Saturn was physically visiting my home.
We all got really sad and lonely for a reason Ben will get to later.
Yeah. We watched all Pluto. It was really good. I liked Pluto a lot, actually.
Keith Davidson there is Dr. Tenma being the sexiest grandpa in all of anime.
The foxiest grandpa in all of anime. It's absurd. Casting him as Keith David is like the most enlightened casting you could possibly do.
Did it cost like 50% of your dub budget? Absolutely.
Yes.
Was it worth it? 100%.
Yeah, totally.
I will always like swear by this. You should always have Tenma, if you're going to like do a dub voice for him, you've got to give him like the most like Norio Wakamoto like villain ass voice possible. So like a Keith David or a John Frakes.
Is Keith David the English Norio Wakamoto?
He kind of is.
That makes. I think that tracks to me.
He's adjacent. I will not say like he is the.
Yeah, because I was about to say I don't think I could hear Keith David voicing Cell, but I understand.
I would prefer that he voiced Piccolo, like Demon King.
Yeah,
Piccolo.
he could do Piccolo, but
because that's more era. That's more era appropriate because he's the Arbiter. Of course, Arbiter. Of course, Arbiter and Piccolo should be voiced by the same guy.
Those are the same guy, 100%.
He's Spawn. Of course, he's going to play Piccolo. You know.
Yeah.
Arbiter,
so I could see Keith David as Norio Wakamoto. Yeah.
The Arbiter would raise Goku's son.
Yeah.
Yeah, totally.
There's a possible episode title for you, Ben.
Shit.
We're back, baby.
Right out the gate.
But no, I loved Pluto. There's so many things that I want to say, but I feel like we'd be talking here all day about it. I will say, however, it was funny to watch Pluto and then be like, hey, Saturn, we gotta watch Ghost in the Shell.
Yeah.
Yeah. I feel that.
You know what I say to that, Sarah? Two great tastes that taste great together.
Go date together. Because it was crazy. I'm just watching. I'm just like, it's like, oh, Saturn really likes this show that's like a robot sci-fi police procedural. Huh.
Uh-huh.
And then we watched Ghost in the Shell after we finished Pluto, and it was like, yeah, see? It's also very good.
Well, that's the thing. Like, I always knew Ghost in the Shell was a big thing, and I feel like I've mentioned this on other content, maybe on streams before, but, like, I'll bring it up here again for the podcast. But, like, my knowledge of Ghost in the Shell was largely derived from the original Ghost in the Shell movie, and, like, which I also haven't watched yet, but the understanding that it's sort of a... kind of traditional neuromancer-esque contemplation on the nature of humanity, yada, yada, yada.
Right.
If I had known ahead of time that Ghost in the Shell standalone complex was what if NCIS was an anime?
Yeah.
I would have watched it years ago.
Yeah, I will make the bold declaration that I think standalone complex seasons 1 and 2 are vastly superior to the original movie.
They're just, I can't even say that because they're so different. Like, I really like the original movie a lot, but it's doing something, like, completely different, right?
It's very apples and oranges, unfortunately.
Oh, I actually forget if I mentioned this to you, Ben. I know Sarah Notes heard about it. I found out looking around that Science Saru, a studio behind Dandadan and among other great animes, is apparently scheduled for putting out a Ghost in the Shell anime in 2026 based on the original manga.
Which is incredible, because I'm super looking forward to, like, a Ghost in the Shell anime that has, like, the kind of, like, more fun, like, spirited major that's in the manga.
Yeah.
We're gonna see that OP is gonna have Major Kusanagi hitting the gritty in it.
Good. I hope so. We watched so I also have done recently an entire Ghost in the Shell standalone complex season 1 rewatch, and we're doing season 2 now, because Pluto made me go, I really want to watch standalone complex again, and then we watched standalone complex, and I was like, Saturn, we got to keep watching standalone complex because I really like this anime a lot.
And I was like, okay, Saturn,
yay.
You didn't already buy a Tachikoma Nendoroid, did you? I don't know.
Maybe.
Within like 6 episodes.
Yeah.
The purchase was made.
Look.
The Tachikomas are good.
It's just my brand, okay?
I know.
I have a brand to like. The Get Sack is one of those shows where I'm like, God, it is a miracle that I didn't watch this show, considering how much of my cyberpunk fixation is with specifically things that are in the show. And like the way Pippa, like my number one favorite tabletop RPG character of all time, basically is just a Ghost in the Shell standalone complex character, but made without any knowledge of what that show is or entails.
That's correct. It owns.
So you're saying that Ghost in the Shell is to you like Monkey Island was for me.
We actually had that conversation
Yeah,
the other day.
Yeah.
It's all, I would say that the creation of Pippa was something of a standalone complex.
Yes, actually. It's a copycat without an original. Copycat.
It's been in me the whole time. I just wasn't aware of it.
That's right.
Yeah.
And then what else? I haven't played a lot of video games. I feel like I've just watched a lot of stuff recently. You know how it be.
We had attempted to start 2 other things, and I think we didn't get too far with them because there wasn't a whole lot. Because we did Dawn to Dawn.
Mm-hmm.
We still need to catch up on that, by the way.
Yes.
We also had 3 others because we got Sara started on Dora Hedoro.
Mm-hmm.
We did the first 2 episodes of Daimo when they came out.
Yeah, which was cute. And then I finally got Saturn to watch the first episode of Kaiba.
Nice.
Yes. And also we all rewatch. Well, y'all rewatch. It was my first watch of Over the Garden Wall.
Yeah, it was my first watch of Over the Garden Wall too. Yes.
Oh.
Yeah, I'd never seen it before.
10 years late, but did you know that cartoon's extremely fucking good, by the way?
Yeah.
Shocker.
Who knew?
Yeah, no. Over the Garden Wall is fantastic. I was just, stunned.
I'm very glad that I got to finally live my dream, which is watching someone experience the twist of Over the Garden Wall.
It's so good. So good.
I said as much in the Discord, but I think the only way Over the Garden Wall could have been improved for me is if the entire show was in Rankin Bass bad claymation until the twist happens and then switches to normal cartoon mode.
Yeah.
God, that would have been beautiful.
That would have been fun.
I'm just imagining it in my mind's eye. Like, everything literally looking like... Did y'all ever have, like, pharmacy stores that had, like, a dedicated year-round, like, display for... like Christmas ornaments?
No.
Okay, that might just be a weird thing that happened in the West Coast. But
if I lived in a place that had a relatively modest climate and had big coniferous trees all around, I would also have year-round Christmas decorations.
For us, the year-round Christmas decoration section was in the bookstore, but so I kind of know what you're talking about.
Yeah,
our year-round Christmas decoration is a small town in Michigan.
Oh, right.
Called Frankenmuth.
Yeah.
I see.
So
our year-round Christmas decoration is a year-round Christmas decoration store, which is commonly known in the city to be owned by a different business and used as a way to generate losses in order to reduce their tax burden.
Great.
I see.
How very Florida.
Uh-huh.
Hold on, I actually gotta go looking for it, because, like, this might just be a thing exclusive to...
Well, I will say, it is funny that you were like, I would love it if this was in Rankin Bass, and then, like, literally a day later, they put out that claymation 10-year anniversary, little short.
Now, granted, that one was Aardman, but still.
Yeah, it's Aardman, but still, yeah.
Well, it's close enough.
You know, it's the dodgeball of prophecy bonking you upside the head again, yeah.
It's not quite as horrifically low budget, but the vibe is there.
Yeah.
It's very weird seeing the Aardman animation style in a thing that is not Wallace and Gromit.
Yeah.
Because it gave me the same kind of not quite the same unease, but the same kind of weird dissonance that so whenever for the past 2 or 3 years or so, Disney has been putting out these little stop motion Christmas specials with the classic Disney cast.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
But the studio they hire to do the stop motion is the same studio that does Robot Chicken.
And so you're even better.
You're watching this cute G-rated, Christmas special with Mickey, Donald, and Goofy, and you're waiting for it to go wrong.
Yeah.
Right? You're waiting for Pluto's throat to get slit.
I'm realizing it is an actual like travesty that when Sarah was in Eugene, I did not take her to a Hiren's because there is. I'm sending a picture now.
How charming!
There is genuinely one of these like massive, like it is a like twice the size of a walk-in closet display for you to like just go like year round look at things that you want to add to your Christmas collection.
Oh no, just to point this out, this picture of those little light up Christmas houses that you can buy. If I had a bigger like place, like a bigger home, I would be one of those sickos with the Christmas Town diorama.
I know you would. That's why I was like, it is a shame I did not take you to Hiren's.
Yeah,
I will do that next time.
I would go full sicko mode. Once I have a house someday, I'm gonna go full sicko mode and have like a Christmas diorama like village.
I would not be a Christmas diorama village person, but I would be adjacent. I would be a Lego City diorama person. I would spend a college fund amount of money making like a giant Lego City that I keep in my den or something.
I had a great uncle who was a train guy.
The most honorable of all guys.
Like his basement had like the setup.
Yeah.
Good for him.
The classics of guy.
Yeah. Oh my god, we love a train. We love a guy with a basement train setup. It's always cool. I'm sorry.
Basement train guys are what you had to be before you could be a gamer.
Right. Yeah. It's true.
Basement train guy was just like that was just what every autistic person before 1974 just kind of had to be.
It's the only thing you can have a hyperfixation about.
I was going to say, I know you're saying Pong, Sarah, but you know what would have been big in 1974 right then?
What?
Pinball machines.
I'm just saying, pinball machines come out, and all of the basement trained autistic guys were like, well, finally another hyperfixation. Thank God.
We gotta pivot.
And we can pivot. It's way cheaper.
That's how we turned them all into gamers.
That's right. It's a process, so I understand.
It took over a century, but we finally have a sinkhole to collect everybody now.
Oh God. But yeah, we watched Over the Garden Wall. We got kind of off topic there.
Yeah.
I really enjoyed all of Over the Garden Wall. I watched a lot of cartoons.
You have watched an unusual amount of children's cartoons.
It's not like me, I know.
You would usually watch one like every couple years.
Yeah.
Sarah's been cell maxing.
I was struck by the eternal sadness that was brought up on my Twitter. And my brain was immediately like, no, we just have to watch something fun. I'm sorry. And we can't watch anything heavier than like a Disney cartoon.
And the 2010s had a lot of the good ones.
Yeah.
They did.
Like, just in general.
No, that's why that's one of the reasons why I said like, oh, Amphibia should be next, because that's what I did for my infinite sadness was I guess I should watch Amphibia.
And
then DuckTales.
Yeah. So it's, at some point I will get around to Amphibia and the Owl House. But I'm still having a lot of fun. I literally enjoyed Gravity Falls so much that after it was over, basically a day later, I bought both the journal and the Book of Bill. I was like, well, I guess we're doing this.
Yeah, you got them for insanely cheap too, didn't you?
I got them for $32 for both.
You can't beat that.
I remember that Volume 3 used to be really expensive for a while because it was out of print for years and years, and I think they might have just reissued it around when the Book of Bill came out.
Yeah.
They reprinted it because the 10th anniversary was coming out.
Yeah.
So it had to happen, so...
The only thing is, I will say, it would have been more expensive, but I did not feel like spending the additional, like, $8, I think. If you buy them from Barnes & Noble, it has a couple extra pages of just like, it's nothing important, it's just like more fun shit, But they're $27 from Barnes & Noble, and I was like, I'm not spending that. I'm just gonna get it off of Amazon, and I got it for $32-ish bucks for both. Those are fun too. I will say I need to get like a pen that makes invisible ink show up. They're very elaborate. But the thing that I really enjoyed is that because the Book of Bill is clearly meant for, you watched Gravity Falls when you were, 10 to 14 in 2012. It's been 10 years now. You're an adult. So as a result, the Book of Bill can be a little bit weirder and like have a lot more like specifically tailored for me, like spooky Photoshop job shit in it that like I am obsessed with because my misspent youth was misspent on the X board on 4chan.
Sarah, known appreciator of Smile Dog.
Yes! I can talk about Smile Dog for hours. Absolutely. Yes.
If you ever want the Twitter account of the guy who made Smile Dog, I will send it to you.
Fuck yes, I love that. I will, actually. I would love to follow the guy on... I don't use Twitter anymore, but I will absolutely follow
I can send you his
Smile
BlueSky
Dog.
instead.
Oh, fuck yeah. Absolutely, thank you. Because I super fuck with that. Yeah, no. Like I said, I wasted my youth on X of all places, and it turned me into a sicko. And Gravity Falls was... If I had watched it in... Well, no. Oh, God, I'm such an adult. Fuck, I was about to be like, if I had watched it in 2010, I would have been about 18. No, I wouldn't have.
No, Sarah.
Shut up.
You would have been about 18.
You're right, I would have been about 18.
The Saturn has to cover their mouth during recording so they can edit in the age.
Diane, you would have been about 18 years old.
Oh, God. Oh, it's
Are
horrible.
you 29, Diane?
I am 29 years old. How long have you been 29 years old? I don't want to talk about it.
That's for God to know.
That's between me and God, okay?
Mom had been 33 for 10 years.
Just about to say.
I choose to adopt the OKKO aging system of I am 21 to 30 years old.
Oh,
yeah,
no,
I'm in the Nielsen bracket. Yeah.
Yeah. My favorite part of that entire joke is the next time. Yeah, the next time he gets a birthday, he says something along the lines of I'm still 6 to 12, but and then he pulls up his hands and counts. In 5 to 1 years, I will be 13 to 18.
Yeah. So yeah, I've been enjoying that. That book is full to the teeth with code breaker shit, and I don't have the brains for that. There's a whole ARG in the book that people are having fun
You can
with.
just look up the answers.
That's what Reddit's for. That's the other thing that the train autists moved on to is doing web ARGs.
Mm-hmm.
The fun part is that the Book of Bill one still hasn't been fully solved yet.
No, it hasn't. It's crazy. People are still trying to crack it. It's been 4 months.
The stuff in the Book of Bill that I'm mostly there for is all the watching
homosexual long.
Yeah, listening to a triangle be in rabid denial over his homosexual lust for that old man.
Yeah, it owns.
It is the most Gravity Falls has ever been like Umineko.
Yeah.
The devil is a triangle, and he's just really, really into that old man. I get it. I'm sorry. I finished the show and I was like, I see.
The devil is a triangle. Isn't that anime?
Yes, actually. But yeah, no. I have had a lot of fun with all of that. Is there anything else that's worth talking about? We watched Late Night with the Devil, which I finally got around to watching. It was good. It was not as good as Ghost Watch though, although
I'm still so mad about Gus.
I know.
Unfortunately, I'm getting I feel like much as the sad Harry Dubois communist thought of the material conditions for the communist revolution have come and gone, I feel like it is simply not possible to make a better Ghost Watch than Ghost Watch.
That's true.
Yeah.
It's kind of like
the kayfabe of Ghost Watch cannot be matched, and that is the thing that makes it so much better than all of its competitors, right?
Yeah. It's kind of like how, despite how I feel about like Dragon Ball in general, if you reread it, you go, that's right. Hunter x Hunter is the only one who properly understood the
boss's will.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is to say, I already know what everybody wants out of like a boys anime. And despite this being like hailed as the classic, I don't think at any point in Dragon Ball does like, at least in the written format, does Goku and his fun adventures ever actually like hold to what your expectations of stock shonen should be.
Right.
No, I have an essay in my brain about that exact topic.
Yeah.
Well, Ben, you should percolate on that and then watch all of Hunter x Hunter.
That's right.
Yes! Ben, you would love Hunter x Hunter.
I gotta finish Yu Yu Hakusho first.
Right.
You will like Hunter x Hunter specifically as a follow-up to Yu Yu Hakusho, because a lot of Hunter x Hunter is going, yeah, I made Yu Yu Hakusho, but I feel like I could have done certain parts of it better. Let me just home run my entire, let me just take every good idea I had in Yu Yu Hakusho and do it better.
Right.
I could have done more Dragon Ball with it. Yeah. Allow me to be more Dragon Ball with it.
But, just, going back to Late Night of the Devil real fast. My biggest thing with it is, one, you can never replicate Ghostwatch, because Ghostwatch is, it is the only thing that has ever and kind of will ever be able to utilize the gravitas of, actual TV hosts.
Yeah, Ghostwatch came out and aired at the time it was portraying, which helped.
Yeah, at the time it was portraying, and it used real BBC TV personalities, right?
Yeah.
All of those guys on it are real BBC presenters using their real names, right? And so, you can never really do that again unless you can somehow rope Anderson Cooper into doing something like that, which would be cool. I would watch that, but...
I think if Ghostwatch is the second War of the Worlds.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Right. Absolutely.
I think the third War of the Worlds, if it ever happens, will be a Twitch streamer.
Yes, that's what I'm thinking.
It will be it can't. I think Germa's out, but it would be a Wayne Radio TV or a similar kind of thing, and it would be they commit fully to the hilt to the skit, and they literally all their social media stuff goes completely offline or whatever for an entire calendar year.
If Wayne Radio TV had somehow managed to air the Spamton special on public access television. That would be Ghostwatch 2.
Yeah. Because, my other problem with Late Night with the Devil, and I enjoyed it, I thought it was really good, but, my other problem with Late Night with the Devil is that I think they should have committed 100% to just having it be a TV show. Right? Because, they kind of play with it into... For one, they do stuff that, a TV and a TV camera in the 1970s just couldn't do. Right? They just they do a picture-in-picture bit, which a TV in the 1970s just wouldn't be able to do.
Yeah, you do not have that advanced of a video toaster in 1970.
No. Your standard news chyron could barely do that kind of thing, right? And so there's stuff like that. There's the fact that things get a little kind of representational toward the end, and it's good. I like it a lot. I'm not a total Luddite, but I think it would have been better if they had just completely committed to it being more authentic. I think that would have helped it a lot. And then of course I also think they should have just found uglier actors. Everybody was too good looking to be from the actual 1970s. The only one who got it right, and not that the little girl in the movie is ugly, but she's the only one who's got the actual face of not Linda Blair. Linda Blair? No, that's Wonder Woman.
Is it Linda Carter?
No, Linda Blair. You're thinking of Linda Carter. Linda Blair is the Exorcist
little girl from The Exorcist.
Yeah.
Okay. I thought so. I was like, Linda Carter is Wonder Woman. The girl in Late Night with the Devil has a very Linda Blair face.
She has the look of a child who was raised in a home where everybody smoked.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, totally. And but everybody else was way too good looking. Sorry.
Yeah.
Even the paunchiest of all of those characters. No, sorry. None of you look like you've been smoking for long enough. So
we're gonna reach a point at some point for period pieces where we come up with a version of old age makeup that is specifically just to simulate the effects of being a lifelong smoker and drinker.
Might be the only acceptable use case for AI.
Yes, I was thinking that at the exact same time. Like, AI can kind of replicate that grit in a person's voice. I
Their
wonder.
face. Like, it might be the only time, because you can't even replicate that with makeup, right? Because, like, the makeup will always look too fake. It might be the only way to make the justifiable use of AI is to make people look realistically like they're from the 1970s.
This movie also has a couple of unjustifiable uses of AI in it.
That's why we did not pay to watch Late Night with the Devil, because it has a handful of really obviously AI photo, like, title cards. Interstitials is the word I'm looking for.
That's not good.
And it's like I realize that people who do graphic design for a movie set or whatever, like, I don't know, maybe you gotta pay them union rates and that's expensive, but you gotta.
You
just
gotta.
Especially because, as we were joking before the movie, this movie had like 15 different production companies involved.
And also, like, they reused like 4 of the interstitials, which means that they recycled them, which means they could have paid an actor to just make 3 of them.
You could have just paid a graphic designer like a couple $100 to do those, and it would have been just fine. It's really silly. It's really embarrassing when the WKUL Halloween special is outclassing you in terms of, like,
visuals,
of authenticity.
Yeah,
right?
I think like, I don't think the WKUL Halloween special is as good of, like, a movie, or as, like, this doesn't have the same degree of horror as either that or a Ghost Watch, but it is, like, unambiguously, for something that is a post facto attempt to convey the vibe of having been actual recorded television footage that is, like, true to the aesthetics of the era. It is blowing this movie out of the fucking water at every single turn.
It's incredible, like, how much better it does it. And, like,
that movie was made for no money.
No, $0. Like,
if I'm not mistaken, I think that movie had a budget of, like, maybe $13,000 or $15,000 in 2013, which for a movie is basically dirt.
It's like dirt. It's like nothing. And it replicates the look and feel of an actual TV, like, spooky TV special, like, way better than anything Late Night with the Devil does.
Yeah.
So, the point is, if they had gone a little bit harder, I think that movie would have been better. But I enjoyed it a lot, is the point. I've been wanting to see it for a while. So I have a lot of feelings and opinions about shows that are, like, trying to do a Ghost Watch. And maybe someday someone will actually be able to do it right. I long for the day when we finally have our Ghost Watch Twitch stream. It's gonna happen. It's gonna happen, and I'm gonna be there for it.
I'm still so sad about Gus.
I know. Gus was a good guy. He didn't deserve it. I'm sorry. That's it for me. Sorry that took a long time, but it kind of bebopped around. It also included stuff that Saturn and Oates did with me. So,
That's okay. Well, as I joked privately before we began this episode, longest episode in Gorge history.
Yeah,
it's true.
It's gonna be a long one. And then I'm, like, intentionally keeping, like, my fucking yapping about, like, Pluto and Ghost in the Shell and Gravity Falls to a minimum, because I feel like otherwise we'd be here for, like, days.
Yeah,
we'd never leave. And also because I think you should watch Pluto, Ben. I think that's another one that I'm gonna have.
I'm going to.
Thank you. Yeah. Because it's really good.
I'm confident you'll like Pluto.
We probably will do Pluto as, like, a thing for the server at some point.
David.
Because it is perfect for it. It's, like, perfect for server watching. You can do... It's super short, but, like, every episode is 45 minutes, except for the first, which is an hour and 25. So it's perfect for doing 2 episodes a week until it's done, right?
Right.
So, yeah.
It's got a really good dub.
Has an incredible dub. It looks really nice.
It is the only anime, to my knowledge, where you can hear Sungwon Cho and Keith David talking at each other in the same scene.
Yeah.
And they're flirting homosexual.
Oh, that's powerful.
It's incredible.
And also Eggman's in it.
Yes.
It's just delightful.
Oh, yeah.
Because I forgot, he has always been Dr. Ochanamizu, or I guess I see in older dubs they used to call him Dr. Pachyfun. Pachyderm? Oh no, Pachyderm. That's right. That's what it was.
I see. Cute.
Also, Nolan North is in it as a kind of character that I think Nolan North basically doesn't ever play, which is really funny to me.
Yeah.
And it's great. It is actually the funniest part, though, just as like one final thing, is that we were watching Pluto, and it's good. It's beautiful, right? It's like immaculately animated. And then we went and watched Ghost of the Shell, which is a 22-year-old anime, and its CGI cars look better than the CGI cars in Pluto.
Yeah, part of what I was saying when you were watching Gits, because, like, important to note for Gits, as far as broadcast TV anime goes, we don't really know these figures for, like, Netflix originals. But as far as broadcast TV animes goes, Gits is the most expensive anime per episode ever, and it's not even close.
Yeah.
I'm not surprised to learn that.
It's like $300,000 an episode in 2002 money.
And the closest that you would get in modernity is Dragon Ball Super, which is half that an episode. In today money.
In like relatively today money, yeah.
Wow, and Super squandered that money then.
Yeah, it did.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I'm confident in Super's case that almost all of it is paying out extremely tons of money for the legacy voice actors in it. Because that's how it tends to go with stuff like with The Simpsons, especially, like all the production fucking costs of The Simpsons go to paying those voice actors, period.
Yeah. Right.
And yeah, so it's crazy because it's like, oh, Ghost in the Shell is the most expensive anime ever, and the best way that manifests is like those CGI cars still look really, really good. It's been 22 years, and like the Tachikomas and the CGI cars are basically immaculately integrated. It's insane.
It took us 20 years and Netflix budgets before we started getting anime that looked as good as Ghost in the Shell standalone complex did in 2002.
It's so goofy. You watch Ghost in the Shell now, and like there's some like animation wonkiness, but that's because it was meant to be seen in standard def in 2002. It's not meant to be seen in high def on my 57-inch TV. So, like, there's, like, you know, models that look kind of wonky, but they weren't meant to be seen this big, so it doesn't matter. But, like, Ghost in the Shell standalone complex still, like, you know how ugly FMA03 is?
Yes.
Ghost in the Shell standalone complex just doesn't have that. It doesn't have those color problems, right? It doesn't have that, like, weird, muddy, kind of green-brown color palette that every anime of the era did. We've been rewatching Baccano on the server, and Baccano came out in 2007-ish, and it's also like excessively brown, and it makes sense for the time because, you know, Baccano is set in the 1930s, so you can kind of get away with that color palette, right?
Yeah, and I have no idea how Ghost in the Shell escaped it, because I thought, like, oh, maybe it's just because they spent so much money, it's, you know, traditionally inked cells still. No! That's actually one of the earlier things of digitally painted cells, and it's like, they just somehow have, like, the good color gamut, and fucking nothing else of that era did.
It's crazy. So, it's been really fun to rewatch. I'm really looking forward to watching the rest of season 2, because it is somehow even more beautiful. I don't know how.
I don't know how they did it.
Yeah, I like season 2's overall, like the slight design changes they made to everyone.
Yeah.
I'm gonna miss Kusanagi's season 1 outfits. I'll admit.
I know. I do miss her.
You know,
I do miss her absurd cyberpunk bunny suit.
Yeah.
Like, the thing is, like, cyberpunk bunny suit is something I'd put on a tabletop character that I'd play.
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
you can't improve over perfection. Why even try?
Yeah. So that's it. All right, I'm done. Sorry.
That's okay.
Who's next?
I think we should save Ben for last, because you have the coolest stuff to talk about.
I was in the middle of, like, trying to recall other things that I got up to, and I'm drawing a blank on. I feel like there was something at the tip of my tongue.
Is it Xenoverse 2? You've been playing a lot of that.
I mean, I've been playing a little bit of that, but it's more like there was other anime that, like, we forgot to bring up or talk about, and it's not coming up at all. Oh, well, okay, so neither of these two things count, but Sarah and I finished off Earthspark.
Oh yeah, we did.
Oh yeah.
So there is not much to say other than season 1 is where it peaked, and it's very obvious in watching seasons 2 and 3 that there was a CEO change for Hasbro, and his mandates were such that he went, "We got a lot of complaints that season 1 was too woke."
I did hear that, like Nightshade vanishes, basically.
Yep.
Nightshade basically vanishes. They basically stop. They like structure the lines in such a way that they never actually have to refer to Nightshade as like they them ever. Even though that was like the fun part of season 1. So like, you know how like season 1 is kind of setting up at least a little bit. It's like some Autobots can be assholes and some like Decepticons can be cool. No, actually no. It actually, morality is black and white except for everybody except for Megatron, I guess. Everybody else, if you're an Autobot, you're a good guy. If you're a Decepticon, you're a bad guy. The only one who's ever managed to escape that is Megatron, the main man himself. Everybody else is still just a huge piece of shit.
You know how in season 1 they had this like long build up for Starscream, such that it was like, so I mean, he's kind of a, what do you call it, like a product of his upbringing, and that the reason that he is like this is in part due to trauma placed upon him in the cycle of abuse,
Right.
and how he's unable to escape because he doesn't realize he's trapped within it.
Right.
Season 2 ends with him going, "I actually lied about all of that stuff. I am a card-carrying villain, and I am here to stab you in the back."
Yeah.
Okay, well, I'm not going to watch the rest of Earth
So
Park,
it's
then.
bad.
It's bad.
Bad.
It's super bad. And then like there is the smallest flicker, and like people are like saying like, "Oh, the Earthspark season 3 is good." No, it's not. It's mid on a good day.
Season 3 picked back up after season 2 dipped incredibly hard.
But like not
But it didn't
that much.
it didn't even get back up to the actual highs. It's like, think about like the most mid forgettable episodes of Prime, like the ones you actually don't like and will skip over. They're a little bit lower than that quality.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've seen the GIF of Prowl being twirled.
Oh, it's so bad. It's incredible. Yeah.
Beast Wars looked better in some
Beast
parts.
Wars looked because they switched animation studios from like this very like these very beautiful, lavishly animated, like very thoughtful, like, you know, boarded out action scenes kind of studio, with like, you know, input from the Rise of the TMNT guys, like all that stuff. And then they switched to the people who made that really awful Megamind TV show. Oops.
Oof.
Oops. So now it looks really bad. And honestly, like, I would say there is 2 episodes in Earthspark season 3 that are good, and that's it. And it's a 7 episode season.
Yeah.
So...
Okay. Well, that's even worse then.
Yeah. So and then they're also, the way it ends, they're absolutely canning that show after season 3. Like there's no way it's getting a 4th season. No. The way that show ends, they're just like, well, now we don't have to worry about it anymore.
What a waste of Weird Al as Cosmos.
What is a huge waste of Weird Al as Cosmos.
He only got those 2 lines in season 2 and 3 more lines in season 3, Ben. You didn't miss out on anything.
No, you missed
He
out
only
on
got
nothing.
2 lines?
Uh-huh.
Yep. He only got 2 lines in season 2.
Animated gave him a whole fucking episode and a half.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
Sorry.
You know.
Just watch Animated, kids. If you want
Let's
to
watch-
good kids in Transformers, watch Animated.
We're gonna watch Transformers 1 to like cleanse this bad taste out of my mouth.
We can talk about that now.
Oh, yeah.
I know that Weird Al is, you know, he's still a musician, even if he's not putting out tons of new content. I know he's busy touring and whatever else. Can we please start getting Weird Al in anime dubs? Please.
Oh my god, please.
Oh, that would be good.
Yeah.
Do you?
Can we get Weird Al as Aramaki in the Science Sergeant Ghost in the Shell anime?
Yeah, because unfortunately Aramaki's like traditional English voice actor for the last 20 years passed away. So can we get Weird Al?
Is he appropriate for a role? Probably not,
No.
but I think he would be really funny.
Hi, everybody. I'm Weird Al Amaki.
Okay.
I don't know anything about police work.
Yeah.
So you know how usually Weird Al, when he's in a cartoon, he's playing Weird Al?
Uh-huh.
Mm-hmm.
And if he's not playing Weird Al, you can tell it's Weird Al because he's just doing his Weird Al voice.
Uh-huh.
Did you know that he was in a Batman and Robin movie as the doll maker?
What?
And this is one of them PG-13, like borderline R Batman movies.
Like one
I
of the
think I
animated
remember
ones?
that.
Yeah, where he plays like a super sinister,
Yeah, I
creepy
think-
horror
What?
movie version.
I remember that being brought up in 4chan, going like, "Wait a minute, that was Weird Al."
Yeah. Like I'm trying to find a good clip of it here. Here, just
I think Weird Al should
this.
have more roles that are like when Jason Alexander played that guy in Criminal Minds.
Just
Exactly.
check this at about like 2:36, and just listen for a second.
Okay, 236.
Wow. Okay. Delightful.
Isn't that great?
That's
so
like
good.
That's like
Oh my
when you
God.
that's like when you recognize the Penguin is being played by famous like guy who wrote the Love Boat theme, Paul Williams.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, but they did in fact waste Weird
Yeah,
Al in their
that's a bummer.
program.
They
Sorry.
did.
Watch Transformers 1 instead. folks.
Yeah, please let's watch Transformers 1 instead. Saturn
Yes.
might like it, in fact.
Yeah.
And put Weird Al in your anime dubcast, please.
Yes.
God,
Put
please,
Weird Al in
yes.
Dungeon Meshi Season 2, please.
Yes.
Oh, fuck
Oh.
yes.
I'm sure there's a character he can play.
I guess I can talk more about Dragon Ball Daima because I did actually like decide to stay caught up to it.
Mm-hmm.
I don't like it as a Dragon Ball show.
Sure.
I do like it as a Dragon Quest show.
That's fair.
That
That's
makes
fair.
sense. I saw
Oh,
a
it's
tweet
so
about that.
good.
Like someone was tweeting about that where they're like, "Wait a minute. Is this just an adaptation of a Dragon Ball RPG that doesn't exist?"
Well,
It's-
that's the thing I've heard about it in production, is that Daima started production as not a Dragon Ball thing at all,
Mhm.
and then eventually they were
It-
just like, oh, let's graft all this Dragon Ball onto it.
I'm-
Fuck it.
I am calling my shot here because I think this is where it was going to lead. I think it was meant to be so like you know how Sandland finally got an anime, right?
Mm-hmm.
I think this is meant to be like a sequel series that immediately spun off because Toriyama went, actually, I have some Dragon Quest ideas that I want to. Actually, I have some Dragon Ball ideas I want to do.
Wait a minute. I can combine these things. Because
Nobody can stop me.
And
I
what are you
did-
gonna do? Tell Toriyama no?
Yeah, exactly.
He died, and so everyone was like, "Well, now we have to grant his wish.
Now
Right.
you can't
We
change
have to
anything.
we have to grant the last wish of the Shenlong creator."
Like here's the thing. I only watched the first 2 episodes of Daima, and it's not like bad or anything, but like the first 2 episodes of Daima do not involve basically
Yeah.
any of the content of Daima, and it's mostly them giving a really labored explanation for how they're retconning this into the Dragon Ball Z continuity.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, you didn't need to do that. It could have just been its own thing. But again, like, what are you gonna do? Tell Toriyama no?
My favorite part about that is that Toriyama always tries to finagle a way to go, we're going to have a retcon conversation in the same way the Fate Zero has the 2 guys talking in a circle.
Yeah, my favorite.
Like,
my
Every time he decides to make a new installment, he decides to do this.
It's because because I know the exact process in his head because he's explained it before, where he writes something, and then someone points out, "Wait, but that's not how that works. Don't you remember?" And he goes, "Oh right, I retconned this before. Now I gotta retcon it back to how it was before. The casket's 3 wishes because Shenron likes them."
Yeah.
Yeah,
And-
that literally comes up during
I
the
know,
first.
it's so that's
during
what I
the
love.
first I love it. It's so funny where it's like, okay, now the rest of it is like, I'm not giving you 3 wishes. Fuck off.
Fucking talk. No.
I don't know you from Jack. Get the fuck out of here.
Someone pointed out that Shenron is basically just like he's like the fucking deli guy that knows you by name and like has your sandwich ready when you walk in.
I love the idea of a genie that gives you family rates.
Yeah. Well, I mean, Bulma's just constantly, like, literally summoning him for, like, plastic surgery every year. So
you might as well just streamline it, right?
Yeah.
He's like, look, lady, I know you're going to be asking for this every year. I do want to occasionally do other more interesting things, so I'll just give you a family plan, okay?
He just goes, you know what? For your next wish, I will do it for you. Grant 2, get 3 free.
If anything ever happens to the person who voice acts Shenron, I'm going to make an argument that if you have to replace him, you should do it with H. John Benjamin.
Oh, well, Saturn. The thing is, if something ever happens to the English voice actor for Shenron, they're in trouble because that's Chris Sabat.
I forgot that that's the reason they do that Team 4-star.
Well, if Chris Sabat ever decides he wants to make less free money forever, he should consider handing that role off to H. John Benjamin. I think it would be really good.
I think.
Yeah, I don't know you, man. I'm not giving you 3 wishes.
I think by cosmic law, no one who does a voice for the English or the English version of Dragon Ball Z can die before Masako Nozawa.
Mm-hmm.
And since she will never die, they don't have to worry about that.
Well, that's good.
Grandma Goku's gonna live forever.
She's like, what, 83?
And she still sounds like that.
Listening to that, because I never listened to a whole lot of Japanese original Dragon Ball, and boy, let me tell you, Grandma Goku is extraordinarily distracting.
Yeah.
Hearing that voice coming out of a guy who is visibly an adult man just feels all kinds of incorrect.
My favorite part is that, like, I don't know how else to describe this.
No,
it isn't just like he's supposed to sound like a hillbilly. He sounds like the twangiest, highest pitched, like southern prospector you can imagine.
He sounds like what do they call them in Australia? The Bogans.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry. By the way, she's not 83. She's 88 years old.
Good God.
Not only does she still sound like that, she still has a range because she voices multiple other characters too.
She's as old as Bernie Sanders will be when he runs for president next election.
I have not seen Daima yet. I'm waiting for the dub to come out.
Not too much longer now. I think it's next week. With Nadolny as returning.
That's why I'm excited to watch this, because I'm excited to hear Nadolny again.
I can't wait to listen to KO finally voice Goku.
I wonder if when that comes out, or I guess they'll probably wait until the actual full release of the Daima expansions, if they'll actually change little young Goku, like tiny monkey staff Goku in Dragon Ball Sparking Zero to actually have an English voice now.
I'm sure they will. I'm sure they will. It's probably
because,
a licensing
he's like
thing.
a pre-order, like he's like a bonus for like not for pre-order, but for like getting the deluxe edition or whatever. Mm-hmm. And he just straight up does not have an English voice track. Period.
I will say I do find it really interesting. Outside of Grandma Goku, every other character, including before the age shift, all got new voice actors for Daima. So they're very clearly going like they're all kind of getting old, and we can't lose Bulma again. So we're gonna pick a bunch of 30-year-olds for this series.
Mm-hmm.
Smart.
Yeah.
I wish they had also done it for Goku, but I understand that that lady needs to make money until she dies.
How can you replace it?
Well, also,
as that
she won't let you recast her.
Mm-hmm.
She will do a real Kamehameha on the studio.
That's always the funniest thing, because like it was always a thing with like Destiny 2, where part of the thing that was supposed, I don't think it was ever confirmed, part of the thing that was supposed that a lot of the big Hollywood actors who were in it had a right of first refusal for thing. And so if they didn't it's not that Bungie could just go oh, we don't want to pay you that rate anymore. They had to specifically decline to come back before they could recast them for someone who takes less money. And as a result, one of the main characters in the thing, Ikora Rey, was just not in any of the plot for 3 or 4 years because she was originally played by Gina Torres. And you know what?
Oh.
They did not want to pay Gina Torres money, but also she had right of first refusal and went, no, I'm good to keep doing the character. You just have to pay me the amount of money we agreed to in the original contract. It took them forever to finally get her to go, nah, okay, I'm good.
Incredible.
Is that it, Oates?
I think
Saturn?
that's it on my part.
Okay.
I did a lot of that stuff with them.
Mm-hmm.
I also played several video games, most of which were streaming for Disgorge, and I'll talk a bit about them. I played Mouthwashing for the Disgorge.
Fantastic.
That's
that was good.
That's a 2-ish hour survival. It's basically a movie, but you play it as a video game.
Yeah.
Crazy, I know.
I missed it.
But really strong writing, really great aesthetic. I'll be honest, the failable gameplay segments I could have done without. I don't think they actually really. I don't think they really add anything. But I wouldn't remove the sections outright because a lot of them add to the story in ways that are
Right.
compelling.
You wouldn't put a game over in it.
No, I wouldn't do that. But aside from that, it was really strong. I did some of Anthology of the Killer for the stream and then finished the rest on my own. I did the first half of it for streaming and then play the rest of it myself. That game, not to spoil the Gorgies, that game is in contention for my personal game of the year. That is a lot of really incredible, incisive writing in that, and my dogs are barking because they keep thinking that Mom will come home. But she will not.
It's okay.
Also,
As much as Peanut barks during any given recording, how can I possibly judge?
Yeah, for real.
You get to hear Bowie's cute little voice.
Yeah, it's so cute.
He's a little yipper.
But that game is
Yipper.
really incredible. I every successive entry is more ambitious than the last one, culminating in the entire last chapter of that game. The entire last episode is straight up an hour.
Okay.
It is
Interesting.
Literally, they have a chapter select in it because he could never program a save function, and he just goes, "Fuck it! If you need it quick, just go to the act select at the beginning of the thing."
That's
figure
so
it out.
funny.
So yeah, that game is extremely good. Played a bit of Xenoverse 2. I'm not really enough to talk about. I've played, according to Steam, 6.5 hours. I'll get back to that, and I'll probably fill in more for that as I go through that. I like that game quite a bit. We did Sparking Zero for Patreon content before Ben went away.
Yeah.
And it's a little fast-paced for me, and Xenoverse 2 is a bit simpler, which is easier on my corroded brain.
That's correct.
Yep, that makes sense.
Your battery acid lined brain.
Yeah.
Exactly. And aside from that, I also have been playing Cryptmaster for the Discord stream. That game is quite a lot of fun.
That is very enjoyable. That is a game that I want to play myself, or at least just continue watching, because I fucking love puzzles.
Yeah, that's a big full game too. That's a 12 to 20 hour game depending, and you would not think it, considering it's a text parser dungeon crawler, but also has Scrabble mechanics in it. But it's really good. It has triple triad in it. It has fishing. It's a real JRPG.
That's right. There's a party. There's fishing. There's triple triad. That's a JRPG, baby.
I also played, the only other thing I played during the month was I played about 8 hours of an early access release called Sulfur. We saw some of this at one of the summer game shows. It's a weird kind of vector 2D. It's kind of styled like a boomer shooter in that everything kind of turns to face you, but it's a mix of 2D and 3D. And it's the only way I can think to describe it is it's an extraction roguelite. So it's formatted like a run-based roguelite game, but progression is like you don't make progression based on clears. It's like you can cash out and then go back in, and you can like kind of level select with the idea of like, okay, you can save an inventory in like a chest, but when you die, anything you had on you is gone. And so if you want to salvage your own, you have to go with stuff you've been saving. And like I played like 8 hours of that. It's having a bit of performance issues on my PC, which I think is just like a Unity side thing. It has like weird slowdown that I really can't explain why it's happening, because it's not like it is not a complex game with a lot going on. There's no reason for it to be having slowdown of any kind. But it's pretty interesting. It's been quite a bit of fun. I'm probably going to hold off on playing more of it until that game stops being early access, because I think I've kind of gotten my fill of what's there. But it's a very interesting take on the thing. It feels very good for like a shooter angle. Not too difficult in my experience. But you know, it's been pretty good.
Yeah,
good.
I'm trying to think if I did anything else. I went and visited Sara and Otzi.
Yay, we had fun.
It was so much fun.
That was quite a lot of fun. I had a great time. We watched a lot of animes, which we talked about earlier. And I'm getting a tattoo soon.
Yeah,
cool.
I'm excited for you.
And that's really been it for me.
Yeah.
All
well,
right.
Ben?
Well, I went to Japan.
Whoa, did you?
Whee!
Yeah.
Sick.
Yeah, so regale us with tales.
It was okay. All right, anyway, let's get to the news.
Episode's over. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Okay, guess I'll just go fuck myself. Oh,
if
God.
you want to hear this content, you can't subscribe to it on Patreon. You need to have at least a rank 6 social link with Ben.
Yeah. You have to somehow be part of our group DM, yeah.
The Ben Vacation podcast will be at patreon.com/thegorge.
It's only available to sucker tier, so you better pony up.
Yeah. No, Melissa and I spent little under 2 weeks because of the time difference. It ate up 2 days of our travel time.
Yeah.
Little under 2 weeks in Japan. We did Osaka, Kyoto, and Tokyo. And we basically had an event planned for every single day.
That's fun.
So I will go and I'll just talk about each day we were there, I guess.
Please.
So day one, getting to, aside from, technically day one was us getting into the hotel after, crashing out for 20 hours of driving. But the first day we got into Osaka proper, we went to check out Dotonbori. Just did, kind of scouting the area, getting used to walking and like the trains and whatnot. And then the 22nd we did the FF14 Eorzea Cafe.
God.
Which was really cool. Really surprisingly good food. This was the one in Osaka. We also went to the one in Tokyo, which we'll talk about later. We did that. We shopped around Dotonbori. We were just wandering around Dotonbori, and at some point I just had to stop in the middle of the road and look around and go, I've been here in Like a Dragon.
Yes, you have, you fool.
This building in front of me, there's a cutscene. You walk into this to activate a long cutscene in Like a Dragon. I know where we are. And it's a shame that didn't happen any other time in the vacation because I didn't go to Yokohama or Kabukicho.
Mm-hmm.
But for just that one moment, I'm like, wait a minute.
Well, it's okay. It's okay, Ben. This just means you have to play the other games now.
Yeah.
So you can go, oh.
Someday they'll put a Like a Dragon game in Hokkaido. Someday.
Oh, that'd be great.
That would be fun. But yeah, that was really nice. Just getting to walk around. On the 23rd, we went to USJ. And mostly to go to Super Nintendo World. Because nothing else in there. There was the other stuff in there was like, they had a Water World section of the park.
Oh, that's fun. They used to have that at Universal in Florida, but they don't anymore.
And then the others were like Do you want to go see the Minions?
The novelty of Waterworld wears off in a state where there is intermittent massive flooding from hurricanes.
Yeah. Japan, I don't know if it's just the areas we went to or if I'm just seeing things that aren't there. Japan seems real big into the Minions.
Well,
they are.
I mean,
they are like little mascot guys. That makes sense.
It's just like part of mascot culture.
Yeah.
Japan really likes cute little things that are like 1.5 head high.
I saw a lot of Minions, a lot of Snoopy, and a lot of Tom and Jerry while we were there.
Oh yeah.
I don't know what the other ones. I was gonna say though, Ben. I don't know if you've been on Facebook anytime in the last 10 years. White people also really like Minions.
Yeah.
I think it might just be that everyone really likes Minions.
Everyone likes the little guys. Yeah.
I mean, like you don't go to a store unless it's specifically a children's store and see Minions scattered around. Like I was seeing Minions just like around.
I can't imagine that.
Yeah.
It's just, again, that's just mascot culture.
It might have just been like I might have been just like aware of it, so I was noticing it more.
But I mean, like, even like hardcore, aggressive-looking, like office guys who like go out for drinks every Friday and are like incredibly misogynistic, all have cute key charms.
Yeah,
I did see that.
That's just how it is.
I did notice a lot of the phone charms and whatnot were still a very popular thing over there.
Yeah,
it was funny getting on the train and like there were certain things in Japan that I always thought were like exaggerations or like caricatures that are just real. And one of them is literally every single person on the train has their head in their phone.
Yeah.
Well,
like
yeah. Would you rather have a conversation with anybody on the subway?
No, but I'm like, there's not like newspaper. There's maybe one or two book. But no, it's phone. It's just you're looking at your phone.
It's all phone.
I mean, newspaper and book occupy like real estate.
It's true.
A phone is about as small of a reading device as you can get without like playing a Tamagotchi or something.
But no, USJ was a lot of fun. Super Nintendo World is incredible. Like the construction that went into it is amazing. Like you walk through the pipe to get to the park entrance, and it's a fucking world of pure imagination. Like you know how like the story goes that like they didn't show the set of Wonka's factory until the kids actually walked in for the first time when they were filming it. Like that's what it felt like, where you're just like, holy shit, I'm in the Mushroom Kingdom. It's real.
Yeah, it's very. I know that like it's very elaborate, right?
Yeah,
like the theming and the staging. Yeah,
they've got like a row of coins that are spinning. You know, they've got stuff coming in and out of pipes, and you look around and there's little hidden things in a corner. There's a little corner that's just tucked away where there are like 4 Pikmin carrying a coin.
Oh, that's
up like
cute.
on a little ledge.
Yeah, it's very Disney. That's great.
Yeah,
that's the funny thing is that like lately Disney like has been having their lunch really eaten by fucking Universal, who like is extremely willing to outspend them on park creation right now. It's like a whole thing. It's even like that here in the United States right now. Like Harry Potter World is kind of cringe, but like they are willing to spend so much more money to make that shit like extremely elaborate versus Disney has this thing called the Marvel's Avengers Campus thing. It's like a Marvel world essentially, and it fucking sucks, and everybody hates it because it's cheap and bad. And it's like, no. I felt Universal's really good.
I felt bad because like there is a Harry Potter world in USJ.
Yeah.
And it's like we went there in early morning, like we got there before the park opened, so we were like in line before the gates opened. Because you need to like reserve a pass to get into Nintendo World.
Yeah.
And we got there, and it had rained the night before, and the sun was out, and it was like upper 70s,
Sure.
And the rain had not evaporated yet, so it was just muggy and humid as fuck.
Mm-hmm.
And
Alabama weather, I know.
And there are kids running around in full Harry Potter robe regalia.
Oh, it's crazy.
And I'm like, how are you not unconscious?
I don't know.
Child fury. It's the magical power that children have that makes them immune to danger.
Freaks are built different out there.
That's the thing, though. Japanese fashion is very, like, no, you're going to wear a jacket in the middle of summer and you're going to like it. Like, that's just Japanese fashion.
While we were heading out for the day, because, like, we didn't stay long. Like, we're not ride people. We're not, and it was hot. We're not going to... There's nothing really for us here. Like, half of the park is for little kids.
Mm-hmm.
Like, if I had my nephews with us, we'd stick around more. We're like, do you want to go see the Hello Kitty stuff? Not particularly. While we were leaving, we walked by. There was just a dude, like, just the park guest, not even like a person, like an employee, like in costume. They were just wearing Law's outfit from Punk Hazard. When he has the big fur coat.
Oh, great.
And I'm like, what is wrong with you? It's 78
Aren't you melting?
degrees.
I don't know.
At least whereas his pre-time skip art where he's just wearing like a t-shirt.
Mm-hmm.
You don't need the big coat. But no, USJ was a lot of fun. I had one great moment where we're walking by and one of the like the hostesses or whatever, like the people who are guiding you to different parts of the park, like pointing out, like, here's where the line starts, that kind of thing. We're walking by and she points at my shirt and she goes Vulpus, because I was wearing my Kingdom Hearts Union Vulpus shirt from Union Cross.
Oh,
and she's like, Vulpus, and I'm like, yeah,
that's awesome.
You also played Union Cross.
That owns. Oh, that's so cool. That's great. The love of Kingdom Hearts is universal.
It makes me wish for a day where FGO had like Nintendo Street Pass and I can just like walk down the streets of Japan and see people walking around and just looking like, and know that they're like, whose fat Jolter is that? Whose big ass Jolter just passed me by?
That's great.
Oh, I forgot to mention, the day before we did USJ, we actually did the Borderless Botanical Gardens.
Yes, Borderless is so good.
Which there are a few things in Japan that, like, we did, we're not going to do again if we ever go back, right? Like,
sure.
I saw it, I'm done. Like, I don't... The urge to go back to Nintendo World was not very strong. Like, I went, It was a lot of fun, I saw it, and I'm good. I will absolutely go to the Borderless again.
It's so good, yes.
One of the best parts of the trip was just walking around in a quiet, dark evening and seeing just these beautiful light displays projected on the trees and the bushes and everything in the park. Just it was nice and cool. There was no wind or anything. It was just quiet and peaceful and spectacular to see. Very, very enjoyable for that.
Yeah. Borderless, I went to Borderless when it was on Odaiba. They moved it since then, but it used to be on Odaiba. And it was fantastic. This was the indoor exhibit that they had.
Yep.
And it was fantastic. I mean, it's so just like beautiful and like serene. And it was packed with people and it was still very like, quiet and peaceful and just really,
you were still you were still just like moving along.
Yeah, it's super. It's incredible. I would absolutely go again. I'd go 100 times. I'd never get tired of it. Yeah,
for sure. Then we moved on to Kyoto, which I think Kyoto was my favorite part of the trip.
Sure,
being in Kyoto was incredible. We checked into the hotel. We kind of bummed around a bit. We went to a rooftop bar. It was close by. Just got to take in the view of the city.
Yeah.
Then we went to the Nintendo Museum.
Okay.
Which was very cool. But also I wish I could have taken pictures of it, but they don't let me.
I've heard that much like the Zach Bagans Ghost Museum, there is just things in there that you are just not allowed. Like they will just like fucking jostle you and shake you and throw you in a bear wiggler if you have a phone on you.
Yep, no, for sure. The entire second floor of it was just no cameras at all. And I didn't see anything that like I felt was like proprietary. Maybe I just overlooked it, or like I wasn't really like paying too much attention. But it's like I didn't see the you know, the Sony Nintendo up there. I didn't see the N64 version of Final Fantasy VII. I don't know what they were hiding.
Yeah.
I don't
understand.
I did get to play Star Fox 2 though.
Ooh,
that was cool.
Fun.
Yeah. Because they had a thing. The bottom floor, they had all these like mini games. You would get a card, and it was charged with 10 points, and you could do a bunch of different games, and they cost different amounts of points. Like we did the big N64 controller, where you had to have two people like manipulating the buttons on the controller. And you got to play like 7 minutes of Mario 64, and that was like 2 points. But one of the 1 point ones is you just go in and you just get like 10 minutes of any NES or SNES game you want. And
that's fun.
SNES was like, yeah, any of those games, including Star Fox 2.
That's what they do for you when you're a death row inmate. They give you 10 minutes of any NES game you want.
Yeah. And they also had ones where like they had like an indoor batting cage where it was based off of Nintendo's old ping pong ball launcher that they would sell in the 50s. Because this wasn't a video game museum.
It's a Nintendo museum.
This is Nintendo. Yeah. So there was fucking Hanafuda cards and Disney board games and like you know, home like activity setups and stuff, you know, wiffle balls and all that stuff. So you could play that. They had like the little like extendable like claw grabber that you would use to grab Pokeballs off a conveyor belt and try to get as many as you could. It was fun. It was very enjoyable.
I like the idea of the Nintendo Museum because it makes you think that one tweet where someone's like, "Oh, this is the longest it's ever been between Nintendo console releases," and the person's like, "False. The longest it's ever been without Nintendo, the Nintendo company releasing a console was about 83 years."
Yeah.
I feel like, you know, the museum literally opened like October 2nd.
Right.
I feel like as time goes on, they're gonna add more to it.
Yeah. It's a little sparse right now.
Yeah. We went the next day. We went to Kiyomizu-dera Temple. And that was fun for much the same reason that like Borderless was fun, where it's just like, oh, this is peaceful.
It's beautiful. Of course.
You're walking around in fresh air, and you're, you know, getting good exercise and just like being in a, you know, a sacred place like that.
Right.
The lead up, doing the streets of Ninazaka and Sananzaka were also great. These just old town style buildings, and you know, all the little kitschy souvenir shops that were around there, and all the little food stands and stuff. The next day we did the Monkey Park, and I think the Monkey Park is why we didn't enjoy Tokyo quite as much as we enjoyed Kyoto. Because the Monkey Park is designed to ruin the next few days of your life. Because it is like a 30-minute climb to the top to get to the park. And again, it was very warm, and the sun was out. And it was enjoyable to get up there and see the monkeys, but it's one of the like, if they're like, well, what do you want to do in Japan? I'm like, we're not going to the monkey park. You can go. I'll stay down here.
It's okay. Yeah. I will
you
not
have
be
to
going
do so
to
much
park.
walking anyway that doing a half-hour hike one way and a half-hour hike back is like a trap.
Yeah, no, it was not. It was enjoyable. It was fun, but like it's like, no, we kind of slowed down on some of our later activities in Tokyo,
right?
Because we were like, no, we're tired. In Tokyo, though, we did, we went to Akihabara, which was a little...
It's a little underwhelming these days.
A little bit.
Yeah.
Like, it was not... like, I was expecting a bit more. It was cool.
Its heyday is behind it, because a lot of the arcades have shut down. Like, not even Japanese arcade culture can save arcades forever, right? Like,
right.
A lot of the arcades have shut down. A lot of the specialty shops have moved because, like, Akihabara became such a, like, this is where you go if you're a tourist and you want to go to, like, do anime shit.
Right.
So that made everything more expensive. So, like, they've, like, relocated to, like, Ikebukuro and a couple of other places in Tokyo.
Yeah.
But it's still cool. I mean, I still enjoyed it, but it's not the same.
Yeah, like, I went to a used game store, and it was, those tiny. It's like 5 floors, and it's like super cramped on each floor.
Oh yeah, that's great.
I did get a Super Famicom copy of Chrono Trigger.
Oh,
because
nice!
Of course I would.
Of course you did.
But it was funny because I'm walking around. I'm like, yeah, this is cool, but like I have no reason to buy this. I can't read it, and I can't play any Famicom games. I don't own a Famicom.
Excuse to get a Famicom, Ben.
Yeah. But like, N64 games, I'm like, well, I can't really play these.
Yeah, but it's for the novelty of
it
having
is, yeah.
them. It's for like collecting, and it's like a cool souvenir to have,
Yeah. And I went up to the arcades and stuff, but it's like, it's the arcades in that area were either like rhythm games, which I'm not going to try to practice a new, motion rhythm game.
Yeah.
Or these super complicated, like legacy card based, like strategy games.
Yeah, or it's FGO arcade.
Yeah. But yeah, no, it was just fun to just walk around there. We did karaoke, and then that was
fun.
As you should.
As you should.
Yeah, then we did Borderless again, the one in Tokyo, which was indoors. That was really cool. They did it. They had a thing where like there was like in the middle of it there was a virtual aquarium where you could draw the fish that populate the aquarium.
Oh, I remember that part. It's so fun.
Yeah, you go into a little back room and then they give you like a sheet of paper with like an outline on it of a different animal on it, and you pick which one you want to draw, and then you just color it in.
Did you do the tea?
We did. I did a squid that I turned into Waluigi, and she did a fish she turned into a Boo.
Oh, that's fun.
And then when they dropped in, they found each other and hung out together.
Ah, cute. That's
so
fun.
we got pictures of them just like floating together.
Did you do did you guys get tea, like the tea ceremony thing?
We did not. Okay. The line was too long by the time we got in there.
That's fair. Yeah. Because we got that. It's really cool. Because like they serve you tea, and like because it's a whole thing about like projection and light like that. You pick your tea, and I guess because there's like something in the cup that they bring you, like an RFID thingy in the cup. The projectors will actually pick what gets projected onto your tea, and it's like a blooming flower kind of thing that they do. And it's really cool. It's just like it's really fun to watch, and yeah, it's like a smart sensor kind of thing to like go along with like what everybody picked, and I loved it. It was awesome. Yeah. I loved Borderless. I would go 100 times, like I said earlier.
Yeah, for sure.
Fantastic. Yes,
definite like highlight of the trip was Borderless. Yeah. And then our last day, we were both tired. We wanted to go to Shibuya, but we didn't end up making it there. Because we also had to do shopping for people.
Oh yeah, where'd you guys go? Did you go to a donkey?
We did go to a donkey. We did go to one. We walked around that.
Donkey Hote.
Yeah.
I was like, just like Yakuza.
I'm always singing this when Limbus Company fan art is on my Twitter timeline.
That's why we should all go to Hawaii together. We can go to a donkey there.
Is there a donkey in Hawaii?
There's 4 of them.
What? Oh my god, we have to go. Okay.
One for each island.
Yeah.
We did go to Harajuku and do some shopping there, and that was also
Harajuku is fun. Yeah, I liked Harajuku. Yeah. It's kind of like Akihabara, where it's not as cool as it used to be because it got very like corporatized, you
Right.
know? Like, there's a lot of just, like, American brands and stuff there now, and it's like, oh,
Yeah.
that's not
Well,
why
that's-
I'm here.
That's the thing that was hard about shopping.
Yeah.
For people who were not like you three, because you three, I can just buy some anime garbage and you'll be fine.
That's right.
That's right.
Like,
Wow.
I can't buy my dad like Fate Grand Order stuff, right?
I'm sure you could get your dad. I'm sure you could get your dad a Goku and he'd be happy.
But like, you know, we're trying to split the difference between like, well, what's a cool novelty thing that you know that's in Japan, but isn't like my mom's not gonna put like a fortune cat in her house, right?
Skill issue. I have a fortune cat on my desk right now.
So it's like we're trying to find like, you know, something unique, but will still fit, you know, the person we're giving it to, and also isn't something that we can just buy in America, right? Like trying to find my dad some baseball memorabilia, right? Well, if you're a Japanese person and you want baseball memorabilia, you want the foreign, you know, MLB stuff.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right? Like,
you want like
ooh.
you want a fucking Hanshin Tigers jersey.
Yeah. You, like if you're in Japan, you want like, ooh, American baseball. Ooh, it's fancy. It's exotic. But it's like, no, I want. Where is the Hanshin Tiger jersey?
Yeah, exactly.
My dad already has Detroit stuff.
You want to get your dad a Hanshin Tigers Haunted so he can look at it and go, fuck, I wish any of our baseball teams had graphic design this cool.
Like, and that's the thing though, especially the Hanshin Tigers, because they're the Detroit Tigers. You bring your dad a fucking Hanshin
But
thing.
I couldn't find anything.
That fucking sucks, dude.
I'm like, where
do I buy this merch?
I'm trying to find, you know, I'm looking like, you know, baseball memorabilia, baseball hobby stores, and it's like he doesn't collect cards, so I couldn't just go to a card store and get him something. But it's like,
right.
Did they like where do they sell just like jerseys?
Right.
And you go to a place and it's like, oh, it's Nike equipment. Like it's just general, like here's like a bat for, you know, a little league player or something.
Yeah.
Right? Or just like, no, I'm looking for like,
maybe you need to go to the stadium where they play, and there's like the gift shop there. Maybe.
Yeah, like around or like around the stadium.
Yeah.
Probably, but like I don't, you know, we were just like, where the hell do you?
Right. Yeah.
I think the only place I've ever seen people selling Hanshin Tigers stuff before online is literally fucking vintage resellers on Etsy. Like that's it.
Oh yeah.
That's so, you know, we had to pivot a little bit with him, but I'm just like, I had this really good idea and you're not letting me commit to it.
Sorry,
it could have been perfect.
But yeah, no, we're just like how do I get something for someone that you can't just buy here, you know? So it was a challenge to like thread that needle. And that was kind of about it. You know, we ate a lot of really good food. I'm going to be dreaming about the tsukemen I had for the rest of my life.
So what is tsukemen?
It is dipping ramen, basically. So you get the noodles and the broth is separate, and you have to dip them into the broth, let them soak for a bit, and then you can eat them.
That sounds so good.
And it was like a really, really good, like thick, heavy pork anchovy based broth.
That sounds so good right now, dude. Are you kidding
God,
me?
it was incredible. Like I wrote down the name of the place and I
So
took a
you can go back.
picture of the front of the restaurant so that it's like, hey, we're going back to Japan. We're going to spend some time in Osaka. Okay, we're going to Fish Tins.
Right. Fish Tins!
Oh, you went to a really good spot. I've heard of them.
That's great.
And it's like all the other restaurants we went to were like little place. The seating is the bar counter. And yeah, it was so good. They gave you, you know, usually when you get like pork, it's like, you know, pork belly that's rolled up and it's like, you know, a decently thick slice of it. These were like wedges of pork.
That sounds so good.
Pork belly.
It was so good. Oh my god.
I had such a good pork belly sandwich when I was up in Birmingham. It's just like I wish I could find more places down here that actually did pork belly. I love pork belly so much.
Yeah, it's so good.
I was telling Melissa, like, don't be surprised if you wake up at 2 a.m. and I'm like over the oven, like simmering broth for 48 hours.
No, I have to make the perfect dashi broth.
I gotta have it.
It's almost time for me to start doing that too, because like
I'm really looking forward to it.
like the pig here just sells like shit tons of pork bones.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
Soon.
But that was about it.
Okay. Well, I'm super jealous of you that you got to go.
Yeah, while we were like in the airport, we're like, okay, so when we go back in like 3 years,
yeah, exactly.
what we're gonna do is we're gonna not go to the monkey park again, conserve our energy for that.
Yeah.
We're gonna spend more time in the actual city, just like walking around.
But what if in 3 years you have cyborg legs which can effortlessly carry you to the monkey park?
That's right. You won't be deterred by the dauntingness of Monkey Mountain, right?
Yeah, and we've also said like the thing is we're gonna go with a group next time. We're gonna bring more people in, and so
and it's gonna be me, Sarah, and us.
Yeah, it's gonna be. Right. Yeah, we kept saying, when we go with a group and like in parentheses, you three.
Right. We're gonna go and we're gonna get super drunk at Golden Guy, and we're gonna run around Tokyo, and we're gonna go to karaoke, and we can go to Hokkaido, and it's gonna be great. It's gonna be the
and you're
best
gonna
trip
go
ever.
to an onsen, and I won't be able to come with you.
No,
we'll have a tattoo.
No, we'll find an onsen that'll let you go in with a tattoo. It'll just be like one of those private ones.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's okay, Saturn. I will probably have tattoos by that point, which means we will both be like the two weird foreigners who extremely can't go in.
Yeah.
It's fine. We'll figure it out.
They'll let you in because they're like, American.
They'll see my one tattoo and go, well, this guy couldn't possibly be in a gang. Look at that.
But they'll look at mine because I'll have like a full like sleeve, and they'll be like,
ooh, it's dicey.
They'll go, ooh, Huffu.
Yeah.
Not allowed.
Saturn, I gotta warn you though, they always say that getting one tattoo means you're gonna end up getting more.
That's
fine.
Tattoos are addicting.
Much like figures, I'm alright with that.
Okay.
Well, here's the thing, like I've been meaning to get a tattoo for more than like 10 years at this point. It's just been like a constant struggle of going, no, I don't know if I'm ready to commit to that design or this, that, or the other. If I somehow am lucky enough to find even more tattoos that I am like, yes, that is worth being engraved permanently on my body, I will be very happy. Because it'll be like my long years of struggle to
That's
find,
right, and you'll just have
good
tons of
artwork
tattoos.
to finally paid off.
Oh god.
Recent events have made me realize that caring about things like am I worried about the consequences of doing a thing that I think is fun? Made me realize that worrying about that's really fucking stupid.
Remember,
I should just go for it.
Remember the immortal words of Ray Smuckles. I wish
being
I had
in trouble
done more
is a
things
fake
in
idea.
life. Yeah, I wish I had done more things in life because now that I know that being in trouble is a fake idea.
That's right.
So true, Bestie.
So true.
And then in the time since I've been back from Japan, I've just been trying to get caught up on stuff. So I got a little bit further in Echoes of Wisdom. I finally got Xenoverse 2 working on PC. I don't know what I did, but I know what I did. I installed it on my hard drive and not my solid state. And that seems to have worked.
If you have any other issues with it, the thing that Oath suggested of just forcing the Steam controller override 100% works.
Yeah.
Because I had a thing, like, I had just started it, and, like, I instantly had controller problems, like, the instant I got into the real game. Like, menus were fine, but then the instant it's like, okay, here's the tutorial, it's like, I couldn't go through the tutorial because, like, the buttons to confirm were fucking up. Mm-hmm. The instant I did these Steam override controls, it just became fine.
Yeah. And I hopped around between Xenoverse 2 and Sparking Zero for a bit and realized that I now think Xenoverse 2 is ugly as fuck.
It's so ugly. It's
that game's ugly.
Yeah, that game's hideous.
It's
now
also
it runs a lot better
than
Sparking Zero does, because Sparking Zero is an Unreal 5 game, and even though it doesn't look super fancy, it's an Unreal 5 game, so it kind of chugs.
You have to remember, Ben, this game got released initially. Well, Xenoverse 1, which is the exact same engine with absolutely no changes, was released on the PS3.
Oh yeah, no, it's an old game for sure.
So
It's also very funny, like playing that and doing some of the story modes and stuff. The breadth of difference between the voice direction in Sparking Zero and Xenoverse 2.
well, yeah.
The voice direction in Xenoverse 2 is terrible.
Yeah.
It's so funny.
They read so many lines wrong.
Because they weren't allowed to look at the footage.
Yeah, I don't know. So Saturn, I don't know if you know this about Xenoverse 2, but they were given all of their lines out of context.
Yeah, it's normal for dubbing.
And because it's a game where you can't even like compare it to the footage and figure out what what's the context of the scene that way, you get things like during the fight between where Super Saiyan Goku is fighting Frieza, immediately after he's just killed Krillin. You get stuff where Goku's like, "You're really strong. This is a tough fight."
Oh yeah.
And it's like,
yeah.
Or they'll just read a line wrong because they don't know what they're supposed to be emphasizing.
Uh-huh.
Like,
yeah, that's tragically normal for a slipshod dub.
Yeah. But then you compare it to like Sparking Zero and Damon Mills' like voice direction, and it's incredible sounding. But I love both those games so much. I love Xenoverse 2 so much still.
It's a fun game. I'm looking forward to playing more of it whenever I'm going to finally actually make time for Metaphor ReFantazio, or I'm just going to give up and play it next year. I'm not sure yet.
I've committed to just being like, hey, January 2nd, Metaphor goes in the PS5.
Like, I own the game, so I feel like I should play it so it makes sense for me to have bought it at full price. But I'm also just like, I don't know if I really feel like it right now.
This is Ben's January 6th.
Just play another Persona game. It's fine.
I think that would track with approximately what we can expect from a Democratic Party version of January 6th, which is that none of us actually do political engagement. Instead, we just sort of stay home and play Metaphor ReFantazio, which is also a game with a extrememly fantastical, not grounded at all in reality politics.
I think the thing I've been hearing about Metaphor is everything I hear about it is me going, oh, so it's like Persona.
Yeah.
Oh, so it's like Persona. It's like, no, you don't understand. It's got a very strong start with a political theme, and then by the end of it, it falls apart. Oh, like Persona.
So it's Persona, yeah.
The thing that really strikes me immediately about like what little I played like the first 2-3 hours of Metaphor in the demo, and like that it's just the game, right? It's the first 2-3 hours of that game. It is just straight up like Hashino breaks free from Persona Team, and immediately goes, but I really wanted to do that road trip Persona game.
Right.
Yeah.
Like that's it. It's the same fucking game. They made some changes, but it's the same game.
And I'm fine with that because I like Persona.
Right.
Yeah, that formula works pretty well.
So that'll be a January game because I got shit to do.
I feel like I want to be the one person on the podcast who can talk about it for Gorgies, but we'll see if my resolve holds.
Yeah. That's it. Do you want to talk about the little bit of news we have?
Yeah, let's do it.
So
There's news?
I have not done any news tracking while I was in Japan because I didn't want to even think about it.
Well, the big news piece is that Jeb won.
Yes.
Yeah, that's right.
Jeb sweep.
Jeb sweep, finally.
So let's go down the couple articles I picked up by the time I got back.
Okay.
Shocking no one in the world. Sony shuts down studio behind Concord less than 2 years after buying it.
It cannot be stressed enough. No video game in history literally ever has lost more money than Concord.
We talk a lot about these shutdowns and the layoffs this year and how bad things have gone. This is the first time where I feel like, yeah, that actually does make sense. I feel like if you bomb this hard, you don't get to keep making games.
I do feel for the devs. I really do.
I feel bad. It sucks that you lost your job. but you did do a bad enough job
that
you do get fired for this.
Yeah.
The thing is, this should extend to the principal person who is responsible for this. Extremely delusional Herman Holst, who somehow still has a job.
Herman Holst should be fired out of a cannon
into the sun.
Because there's been a lot of chatter from analysts and whoever that very correctly assuming like the reason Concord got a pass and none of these other things that Sony canceled didn't is because the people who were checking those projects were the Bungie guys. Mm-hmm. And Concord is ex-Bungie guys. And so it was very obviously like, well, yeah, they know what they're doing. They're ex-Bungie, right?
Right.
But also, Concord was reportedly Herman Holst's baby and may or may not have been convinced it was going to be the next Star Wars. And that dude should, we're gonna hear about that dude being found in multiple pieces.
Yeah.
There's no way. He lost
insane.
more money on one video game than literally anyone else ever.
How do you launch a game and then make negative money off of it?
It's amazing because you literally have to make negative on Concord never made any money except for the handful of dollars that they made off of the people who bought it physically.
Yeah.
And didn't think to get their refund. And that's it. And that is a teeny tiny sliver of humanity.
I cannot imagine that accounts for literally anyone.
It's got to be 3 people tops, right? So they made what $210. There you go.
The only way it could possibly work out that way is you bought Concord and then died before they canceled it.
There is one person on the planet whose last video game was Concord.
Oh God, Ben, you can't say that. It makes me depressed.
No.
That person lives in hell now and regrets every decision they ever made in their life.
That person's a ghost. They're just haunting.
Imagine if that's how John Carpenter went. If John Carpenter suddenly thinks the last video game John Carpenter ever played was Concord. I'm like, yeah, buddy, I get it.
That's too tragic.
Your spirit haunts the copy of Concord until someone can return it to GameStop.
Ironically, that would be
thing.
Ironically, that would be a very good John Carpenter movie.
Yeah. That'd be a grand journey to find the one GameStop left that's still open.
Oh my God. No.
Next, Death Note Killer Within How to Play trailer. They're making Death Note Among Us.
That's the only thing. That's why this is in the news and is extremely funny. While the iron is not just ice cold, but might actually be absolute zero, somebody was like, what if we made a Death Note Among Us? And it was
I remember reading about Death Note game in an announcement, coming eventually. We know more details to come. And I'm like, well, how do you make a Death Note game, right? How do you would have to be some kind of visual novel mystery type thing. You obviously can't adapt the manga because we know how the manga ends. You'd have to do an alternate take on it or whatnot. I'm trying to overthink well, okay, you could do some kind of investigation process, or you could do some psychological interrogation, like an AI Somnium Files or an Ace Attorney style thing.
Mm-hmm.
But that might actually be kind of interesting. Okay, I get behind that. Oh, it's Among Us.
No, it's just Among Us.
It's just Among Us. It's what you would.
The thing is though, to be fair, Death Note is a social deduction game as a manga.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If that's how you're gonna if that's the game you're gonna make, fine. I guess it is true to what the actual thing is. This is the first idea on the whiteboard, and then someone went, done. Yeah, how much effort do you think they're putting into a Death Note game?
Yeah, it's a Death Note game in 2024. I don't understand. Who is wanting a Death Note game in 2024? That's the thing that I'm having a hard time with.
Yeah, you needed 15 years earlier at least.
Yes, this is not Nobody's asking for this. I don't understand. And
This
it's not
would-
like a cheap mobile game. They're like putting it out on console.
Yeah.
They're gonna charge like $35 for this fucking thing.
For Among Us.
Which is way too much money. I don't understand.
I don't get it.
Look, gamers at home, simply load up Gary's Mod Trouble in Terrorist Town and find all the source models of Death Note characters you can. And put them in your Gary's Mod server.
Uh-huh.
That's all you need.
That's it. You can replicate this. You can replicate the look and feel of what this game is going to be like perfectly.
You can have Lolliot kill L instantly by shooting him point blank in the head with a deagle.
Yes.
I wonder if in Japan, if I had looked around, like I could have found like a Secret Hitler version of Death Note. Because that'd be a good social.
Oh, like a proper social deduction game.
Yeah, that'd be fun.
That would be fun, actually.
I mean, it does. Death Note does basically just work off werewolf rules, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
One of us in the room is the killer. Who is it going to be? We have to just try to deduce it. Next, Xenoblade Chronicles X Definitive Edition pre-orders are live at Best Buy.
It's finally out of jail.
I think, this was one of the last games that needed to be free from Wii U prison. I think the Zelda remasters are left.
And like some Kirby game.
And like the Skyward Sword remaster got off the Wii U, I think. It's just the Wind Waker one is.
And the Twilight Princess one is still stuck there.
It's like,
I don't think Kirby had a Wii U game that was, it had Rainbow Curse, which is...
I think that's still in Wii U jail, isn't it?
Yeah, but it's not like one of the big ones that people were clamoring for.
It's still one of them. It's a Kirby game,
Yeah, but it's Rainbow Curse. Wow. It's not a platformer Kirby game.
I don't play Kirby games. I wouldn't know. I'm just thinking you still need to make them all available for preservation's sake.
Look, we saved the Wonderful 101. We kind of could have just stopped there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know I can describe what happened to the Wonderful 101 as being saved. Those post-launch contents they finally put out after having been funded on Kickstarter a million years ago are predictably bad.
Oh, speaking of dog barking, see, Saturn? It's not an episode of The Gorge without Peanut.
It's good to be back.
That's enough.
Like, I guess technically you do have to save Smash Bros. For Wii U, but like Ultimate's out, so you really don't.
Yeah. That's the thing, is like Ultimate's out, so you really don't.
They already saved Mario Kart. They already saved Donkey Kong. Yeah, it's the Zeldas, really, I think, that need to be saved.
And they're just going to do that again later.
Yeah.
They're gonna wait for another anniversary, and that's when they'll do it. So,
oh yeah, probably.
Yeah. It won't be the end of the world.
And I would I don't know, I have mixed feelings because I would, just for the sake of preservation, I would like those Zelda remasters available.
Yeah, available.
But I also think that Wind Waker remaster is fucking hideous. So...
the bloom is ugly.
But
yeah.
We're not going to be waiting too long for the Twilight Princess one, because guess what's going to happen in 2 years and 6 months time.
Is it
Twilight Princess turns 20?
Oh, what? Huh? What?
Oh God! I don't want to think about that.
Hey, let's see. I need you to go. I need you to.
You gotta go back to California. You can't keep living here.
I need you not. I need you to not be saying these things about. I remember when Twilight Princess came out and what age I was.
Yeah.
And what grade of school I was in when I got to play that game for the first time. And you know what? Thinking about that being 20 years ago makes me want to turn immediately into a skeleton.
I'm skeletonizing as we speak.
I remember it coming out when I was in high school and inviting my girlfriend over every Friday so we could play it together and beat it to completion.
That's what me and Sarah. That's what me and my other Sarah did. Yes.
Yeah.
I don't have that for.
You were inviting your girlfriend over to beat it to completion? I'm sorry, what are we talking about?
High school.
I played that game in middle school. I believe.
I did not have that strong of memory of it for Twilight Princess, but I do have strong memories of midnight release for Smash Bros. Brawl, which is close enough to Twilight Princess that it's like, oh no.
That one I think was high school for me. I think.
Oh my god! Remember Japan time?
Remember Japan time? Aww.
Japan time.
Everybody salute Japan time.
You know, I do.
A meme that kids these days just
they don't know.
They don't get it. They don't understand. They do not understand the joy of waiting until 3 a.m. to see what new bit of data was revealed. Mm-hmm. Remember when they put Sonic in the Nintendo game?
Yeah.
Remember when that was like insane?
Yeah.
We were like, you can't.
I remember losing my absolute shit at Solid Snake for the E3.
Yeah, the first E3 trailer, which is still a great trailer.
Is it funny now, Ben, having gone through all of Metal Gear Solid except for V, and looking back at Brawl Snake and going, that is not a snake that exists.
Yeah, no, that is supposed to be. It's a bizarre amalgamation of 1 and 2 Solid Snake and then Naked, like a hint of Naked Snake.
Yeah, it's so crazy.
They were, and he had the world's most beautiful gigantic ass cheek.
Oh, yes, he did.
And they betrayed him.
I know. They nerfed my man's ass. How could they?
Look, it's only fair. Samus had to lose some of her ass, so Snake had to lose his too.
I think they should have both had their...
begin with.
No, I think they both should deserve full asses.
I agree.
I'll die on this. I'll die on those hills.
I will continue to maintain that Samus could have lost a little bit to give Solid even more of an ass.
Who do you think took your ass?
Yeah.
No!
I think Solid Snake should make the screen shake every time he takes a step.
I agree. It should clap so loud you go deaf. Come on.
Man, it was the Solid Snake one. And for Wii U, the reveal from Mega Man I've never been able to come down from that hype ever since.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that for me the hypest one besides the obvious one, the very last one of Sora.
Yes. Yeah.
But before that, it was the Game Awards Joker reveal.
Yeah, the Joker one was really good just because it was extremely well done.
Yeah.
That one was always the one that was like, he's not on a Nintendo console.
Because that was the one that broke all the rules because, Snake was in Metal Gear on the NES.
And also in the Twin Snakes on the GameCube.
Yeah.
Right? That counts.
And, Sonic had been on, Adventure 2 port, the Adventure 2 Battle, Adventure BX.
He was in those Wii games. He was in fucking Secret Rings.
Yeah, and he had the Wii games and whatnot. But it's like...
But But we need to remember, he predates those. Technically, he was only on Game Boy Advance games and then, a couple of, the 2 Dreamcast ports.
Yeah. And then...
Well, he was in Heroes.
Heroes predates... Smash Bros. Predates Heroes, I think.
No, Heroes is from 2004.
Well, Heroes is a GameCube game, yeah. So, it would be on the GameCube.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, but what I mean is, he didn't appear until Brawl.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, it makes sense.
Yeah, so he had...
Joker... here's the thing that pisses me off still about Joker. I don't remember if SMT5 was out yet or not. It might not have been. But you had both SMT4 games and some great character designs to work with there. And you picked a guy from the game that's not even on your platform.
But
what's your problem?
That's what made it good, where it's just like, oh, that rule doesn't exist, actually.
No, I like the rule.
Oh, it can be anyone. It can be Master Chief.
I liked the rule.
I like the rule. Because I think the thing is, it could have been Master Chief or Doom Guy, but you would understand that they would have to then put that game out on Switch.
Yeah.
But they never put Persona 5 on Switch.
Yeah, they did.
They did eventually.
Royals
put
on
the
Switch.
Royal on Switch. Yeah.
Really?
Royals on Switch, and now Strikers and Tactics are on Switch.
Nevertheless, it should have still been the SMT4 guy.
I agree.
And Sephiroth. Sephiroth is also one of the pop-off ones.
Sephiroth was one of those ones where I was just like, ooh.
Sephiroth was good. Even I lost my shit about Sephiroth. Yeah.
Sephiroth, at least compared to Joker, here's the thing. Mm-hmm. Joker, that B-grade bitch does not get around the rule. Sephiroth, you move heaven and earth for Sephiroth.
I love the fan theory that all the trailers up until that point had someone grabbing the envelope, right?
Right.
With the wax stamp, wax seal, Smash Bros logo. I love the fan theory that Sephiroth stole his from Waluigi.
Yeah.
I love that.
I believe it.
I love the other one that was just like, so Final Fantasy VII didn't really get a port until after the fact, so they're just pulling from Final Fantasy in general and went with Cloud because that's easy money.
Right.
Sephiroth was allowed in because Cloud is in Smash, so Cloud is in a Nintendo title, so Sephiroth was allowed.
I love it. I love that recursive logic. I think it's great.
It's so good. Well, what else we got?
Speaking of Nintendo confirms backwards compatibility for its technically yet to be announced Switch 2 console.
They folks, they did it.
They didn't fuck it up.
They didn't fuck it up.
I love the seriousness of this tweet.
Oh, it's so funny. Yes.
Quote the tweet quote here. This is Furukawa. At today's corporate management policy briefing, we announced that Nintendo Switch software will be playable on the successor to Nintendo Switch.
It's so dire.
Announcing it with the gravitas of like, we regret to
the death of a CEO.
Yeah, like we regret to inform you that someone in the company has died.
Yeah.
The last time we got one of these posts from Furukawa about like the confirmation of the existence of the successor of the Switch was like 6 months ago when he said there'll be more information later, but it's not going to be the next Nintendo Direct. And then it wasn't any of the next like 3 Nintendo Directs. They're insane over there.
They're so insane.
I mean,
I feel like it's just never gonna. At this point, I wonder if the Nintendo fucking up the Switch 2 is just that the Switch 2 is never coming out.
See, my worry is like, because like based on what people have said about leaks and the things from leaks, is that like it has been held up for so long that even worse than the Switch 1, its technology is going to be years out of date when it finally releases.
Oh,
I want to imagine that the reason this is such a serious announcement is that because right before he went on stage to say this, Furukawa just shot Xbox and Sony in the back of the head.
Yeah.
Just like, hey, you can run Switch games on the Switch too. All right, well, Sony is dead.
I think the realistic reason he was so grave is because the secret thing that no one wants you to know is that the publishers don't want it to be backwards compatible because they want you to buy the game at full price a second time.
Well,
yeah.
And so he's being grave because he knows that the publishers listening to that are going to go, fuck!
Right, yeah, exactly. Although, granted, the biggest publisher on the Nintendo Switch is Nintendo.
Yeah.
So...
Now listen. I know enough people who didn't buy certain Switch titles and will buy them now because they can run at a better frame rate.
That's correct.
I know several people who will now buy the Hyrule Warriors games because now they can play them.
Now they're functional. Yeah, they actually will run. Imagine that. Yeah, I know. Instead of just being a slideshow.
And Fire Emblem Warriors.
Yeah.
And Fire Emblem Three Houses might actually run good instead of bad.
And Persona 5 Strikers.
Yeah,
really, just all the Musou games. You'll be able to play Samurai Remnant on there at more than 20 frames per second.
Wow.
Shin Megami Tensei V at more than 20 frames per second.
That's so nice. Imagine that. I can't wait for the Switch 2 if it ever comes out.
Yeah, I feel like Probably not Game Awards, but soon after Game Awards.
Yeah.
I think it would be really funny if like they're like, finally, the Switch 2 come out. It is a PlayStation 4 but portable, and Sony's like, we're putting out the PlayStation 6.
Just desperate, just utter desperation.
Well, also just like it taking so long that the Switch 2 is now two entire console generations out of date.
Behind. Yeah.
And then just crushes PS6 sales.
It would still crush, because after a certain point, we've talked about, of course, the diminishing returns of graphics is like, if it's a PS4, that's fine, right? Like, that's fine. It can be a PS4. I don't care. Like, at that point, you can have extremely nice graphical fidelity. That's it. You're done.
I hope that the CPU will be a little bit better than the PS4, like maybe PS4 Pro level, but you don't need the Switch 2 to be a PS5 level, certainly.
Oh, God, no.
Like, that's excess.
Here is the Switch 2. Here is our reveal trailer for Metal Gear Solid 5 Switch port.
Holy shit. Please. I think that'd be so funny.
I
think that'd be hilarious.
I recently had the occasion of being forcibly confronted with Million Fish's page again, just apropos of nothing, of rereading Million Fish's Metal Gear Solid 5 fan comic, and I'm getting that itch.
Yeah.
There's some like potent tragic old man yaoi in MGSV, and I'm like, it's kind of got a motherfucker wanting to grab it on Steam sale for like $5 and waste another 100 hours of my life playing that fucking video game.
We're just gonna do We're just gonna do the sequel to Metal Gear Solid.
Yeah, if we weren't,
if we do, it will take all of May to get through Metal Gear Solid V.
If I weren't more interested in doing Mace Attorney,
yeah,
I would say we do Metal Gear Solid 5.
Can we do April's Attorney?
No.
April's
Attorney and
can we do Ace April Tourney?
Ace Tourney?
No, see, the problem is that all three of those sound like I'm trying to make those words with my, like, I was mouthing them, going like, that hurt.
That
actually hurt.
Okay, can we?
Not like, it doesn't hurt on the ear. It hurts my mouth to make those sounds in that order.
Can we do Metal Gear Solid 2 and then do Jun Takumi?
Oh.
And then we can do like both the Great Ace Attorney games, and if we have time left over, we can do Ghost Trick.
Ooh.
Ghost Trick.
Oh, that's actually a really good idea, though.
Shun Attorney. Or just shoot,
Shun Takumi. Ooh. Okay,
Maybe.
watch this space. That's
Watch
a really good idea.
and if you're Shu Takemi and you're listening to this, I'm sorry.
Yeah. We apologize. However, your dog is extremely cute.
You see, it would have to be April Escape.
Technically, Jun Takumi is like extremely easy to do. You just have to add an apostrophe to the name.
Yeah,
see, I've got it. I got that dog in me, and by that dog, I mean Japanese language punning apparatus.
And we got that dog in us, which is D-Dog.
And that other dog, Missile.
God.
Maybe. Well, you know what? I'll juggle these balls around in my head.
Watch this space.
And we'll see what we're feeling.
Because I do think that a month, either way, whether we do it for May or not, I do think a month of Metal Gear Solid V streaming would be a really fun way to go through that game as a sequel to Metal Gear Solid.
I feel like also, from what I remember of Metal Gear Solid 5 from watching the best friends play it, that's also a great way to just get several podcasts done.
Yeah.
While I'm like dicking around the open world.
Yeah, that is the thing is about MGSV is you will play it and you will know whether or not you are interested in Monster Hunter Wilds.
Okay.
That's good to know.
Because Metal Gear Solid 5 and Monster Hunter Wilds are the same game. I cannot stress enough. The only difference that Monster Hunter is still Monster Hunter, and the only actual Monster Hunter Metal Gear is Peace Walker. Like, they kind of got rid of some of that when they turned it into MGSV instead. But like, because Peace Walker is just if you made a Metal Gear a Monster Hunter game. Period. Yeah. But like the actual open world layout and mission layout and everything of that is identical to Monster Hunter Wilds.
Interesting.
And then it feels like Helldivers 2, because those developers were very explicitly like, yeah, we based this game on how Metal Gear Solid V feels.
That's so funny.
You can see it whenever you see someone do like a dive, in Helldivers 2. It is like almost the exact animation as when you have a Venom Snake do a dive.
That owns.
Awesome. And finally, speaking of Metal Gear Solid, the secret actor behind Metal Gear Solid 3's Eva has finally been revealed after 20 years.
It's Jodie Benson!
I can't believe it's Jodie Benson!
Shout outs to that unnamed hero who met her at a con once and got her to sign their copy of Metal Gear Solid 3 in like 2007 or whatever. You simply were in tune with the ley lines.
We have to do a Discord movie stream night where we watch Thumbelina, and then at the very end of it, we just replace like the last like bit with the phone call from MGS3.
It's funny because like when I went back and like knowing this information, went and pulled up some scenes with Eva in them, and I'm like, oh yeah. If I had enough time and like could go down a list, I would figure this out.
Yeah, you can tell.
Was Jodie Benson ever in any episodes of SpongeBob?
She was. You know what?
Hold on.
I was gonna make that joke, sad about how this is the second female character in MGS3 that is based off of some sort of oceanic character.
But I have to stress to you, Ben, Mr. Krabs' daughter is played by the boss.
I know that.
No, she is not in SpongeBob.
Damn.
She is, however, in the Wild Thornberries and in the Loud House.
Okay.
So she gets pulled for other things, but she is not in SpongeBob.
Damn it! I was really hoping.
I feel like there's a version of Ben in the multiverse who did play MG at Metal Gear Solid as a youth.
Right, of course.
Who would have figured this out because he would have been playing Kingdom Hearts 2 and MGS3 back to back over and over again.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
The lead also being buried in this article, by the way, is that this came up because even though they're not redubbing this game for some reason, they are bringing several of the original voice actors back to record new lines, apparently.
Yeah.
What?
It's mentioned offhand in the article. I have no idea what it could possibly be for.
IMDb has already been updated to put Metal Gear Solid as her top 3 most known voices.
Great!
I mean, they're not wrong.
Yeah, no, I remember, I like today I just checked like Wikipedia, it's like, oh, it's already there.
Yeah, it's already there.
That's so crazy.
Good for her.
She kept that secret for 20 goddamn years.
How do you keep that secret for so long? You know
I guess not everyone's voice is as easy to place as Steve Bloom.
I guess
it's true,
so.
Yeah. I mean, Steve Bloom did a terrible job of lying about he has a fucking tattoo of the word bang as a waveform.
Yeah. He's so funny.
It's also not helped by the fact that, does Steve Bloom have a great range? Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. That dude can do tons of different voices. Mm-hmm. However, he will always sound like Steve Bloom.
You can always tell, even if like he has a ton of range, there's just like that kind of fry in his voice that you're like, that's Steve Bloom. Okay.
It's like Todd Haberkorn could never do scab work. You'll always be able to tell when it's Todd.
Right. Oh my god.
Oh my god.
Oh my Todd.
So, Jodie Benson's like her second ever role is as Ariel in The Little Mermaid.
Really?
Yeah.
Her first one is as one of the young one of the groups of villagers from the very first dub of Nausicaa of the Valley of the Wind.
Oh my god.
Interesting.
She's also a primary character in the extremely underrated and canceled way too soon cartoon, The Pirates of Darkwater.
Oh my god, you're right!
Yeah, she's Tula in Pirates of Darkwater, which I think owns.
Wow! Yeah. I feel... This is more than just I feel ancient. This is I feel memories just got unlocked in me.
I know, right?
Yeah.
Like, whoa. Oh.
Oh man, no, Apple, leave me alone.
I still love the fact that Jodie Benson got pulled by Don Bluth to do Thumbelina specifically because he was just like, hey, do you want to just like do an Ariel type again, but like as kind of a parody? He's just like, oh hell yeah.
Yeah, it rules. Good for her. Good for Don Bluth.
Oh, she's an Onimusha?
Yes.
Yes, she is.
Who isn't, Onimusha is like one of those weird things, like, what the fuck do you mean this person's an Onimusha? What?
It just has a shit zillion characters and it just keeps pulling huge names. It is
funny looking at the behind the voice actor page for her and realizing just how many things Ariel has been in lately.
Yeah.
Usually
That's
they don't.
Disney.
Usually they just kind of keep the stars quiet in these like specials because like they don't want to pay a voice actor.
Well,
I think it's partly because like she really doesn't do a whole lot in acting.
yeah.
So she can get pulled really easily if people get a hold of her phone number.
Right.
Yeah.
Like she'll just do it.
Much like any voice actor who isn't like super big, like had a big role but isn't super big. It's like, oh, you have work for me? Yeah, I'm down.
Yeah, I'll take it. Absolutely.
You've worked. It pays literally anything at all. Yeah.
I would love to come work and do stuff for Disney. Yes, please.
Absolutely.
So that'll be it for the news, though.
Will it?
Yeah, I don't have anything else to talk about.
Dang.
There was a whole eventful month, but we're not subjecting Ben to coming back from a vacation trip to Japan to then go collate an entire month of the industry burning down.
Yeah.
No, it's the usual thing. A bunch of people got fired. Shit's fucked. It's fine. Don't worry about it.
Okay.
Yeah, they're making. I guess the only other thing I remember off the top of the head is they announced they're making a mobile game spin-off of Destiny with whatever Nexon or whoever. Predictably, it looks like shit.
It looks like
really
shit.
bad.
Yeah.
That's all I can think of off the
That's
top of
it.
my head.
That's all
That's
I
all
got.
we got, Chief.
Okay.
So, hey, we're back finally.
We're back. We'll be
Yay!
doing more podcasts and stuff. Back to normal and doing that and Patreon content and all that stuff
And streams
And streams.
Yeah,
And watching things on the Discord. We're always watching stuff on the Discord. So
we got FF9. We got Ace Attorney Investigations, and then once we finish one of those, we got UFO 50. What was that title? Grimstone. We got Grimstone to play.
Do we also still have Controluary in the docket?
Probably.
No, because I was going to do shit, what was I going to do? We had something planned.
Ben, you gotta write
God Handiwary.
God Handiwary. That's right.
You got God Handiwary.
Right.
Oh my god. Yeah, okay. Yeah, okay.
I've got to figure out how to get my PS2 hooked up to Elgato, or I just find a
PCSX. Yeah, dude.
So if you have not watched any of our streams before, but you want to watch a stream that is going to make Ben give up on making any content ever again, please tune in for God Handiwary.
I got close to beating God Hand as a kid.
Unfortunately,
you had the neuroplasticity to get close to beating God Hand as a kid, yeah.
Unfortunately, Ben, you are now over 30 years old.
And
God Hand has refused to slow down.
I think I can handle it. We'll see.
You can God handle it.
Yeah.
Damn it! My jokes!
More like my jokes.
All right, folks.
My city now. I still relevant.
That'll do it for us. Thank you, DJ Cutman. If you serve background music, you can email us at thegorgepodcast@gmail.com. Follow us on all our social medias. We're leaving Twitter.
We're all going to BlueSky.
Yeah, BlueSky's ahead.
God Hand isn't that old. It only I got that IG interview a few years ago. Friar and Sama. God Hand came out on the PlayStation 2 about 20 years ago. What do you mean about 20 years ago?
That can't possibly be right.
Do you not know how many specific years ago it was? Friar Sama, it came out before I was born.
Oh, I hate you so much right now. What year did God Hand come out?
I think
2003, I think.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Survey says... Oh, no, 2006. 2006.
Okay, so we still got time.
That game came out in 2006?
That game looked like dog shit for 2006.
Yeah, exactly.
that game came out 2 years after Metal Gear Solid 3?
It did.
Yes.
That's the magic of God Hand.
Maybe the 20-year anniversary of God Hand, they'll finally put it on a modern console.
I think they should put it on a model console and it's still running in like 480p with the same exact original assets.
Yeah,
Exactly.
the same frame rate and everything, yeah.
They should, I think we talked about, like, they should call it God Hand Remastered. And it's nothing.
The exact same.
There's nothing changed.
They should do the thing where they lock the frame rate to 15.
I think that they, for the 20th anniversary of God Hand, they should not release a new God Hand. They should put Gene as a Fortnite skin for one day and then never rerun him ever.
And it should be Gene's God Hand model.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
They should make God Hand Remastered, and the only thing that's different is that there are 5 more photos of Olivia lounging around the hotel room in the little, like, slideshow you can get.
Between this and one of the last podcasts we did before you went on vacation, there's some federal agent somewhere. It's like, these are the only people on the entire internet who are talking about God Hand. What's their problem?
Why are they so obsessed with God Hand?
Have you seen God Hand?
Yeah.
Now that is both a point and a counterpoint in its favor.
Yeah.
That's a good point.
Listen. When you see God Hand and you experience God Hand, you will think about God Hand in the future. Whether that's good or bad is up to you.
Yeah.
But
Well, no, it's irrelevant.
Yeah.
It's God
That's
Hand.
true.
you will at some point go, what the fuck was up with that game? It came out in 2006?
I think that God Hand is the closest that Shinji Mikami has ever come to being David Lynch.
If you think about it, God Hand is based off of Twin Peaks.
Truly.
Yeah, you're a guy who comes to a
into
small town,
Yeah.
and you have the God Hand.
Of course, everybody knows Dale Cooper has the God Hand.
You can magically just pick up a pebble and toss it at glass bottles to divine something.
If you think about it, there's literally a plot point in The Return about having the God Hand.
I was gonna say we're gonna mod Gene to have a little green rubber glove.
Yeah, exactly. Ben, that'll make sense to you eventually.
Yeah, it's like
No, Ben, it will never make sense to you.
Yeah, actually, that's a good point.
If I'm not mistaken, I think that guy was literally played by a YouTuber who just made videos about Twin Peaks.
Yeah, we have to send David Lynch to jail. I'm sorry.
I don't know.
Saturn.
I don't think I feel like it's not a David Lynch decision. I think that was a Showtime money decision.
Maybe.
Because that is apparently a show where they went like, look, man, we're giving you this much money for this. Mm-hmm. You are going to do what we tell you to.
Yeah, it's fair.
You are going to put this YouTuber in the show.
Oh my god.
we need the ratings boost.
Okay.
All
Okay.
right.
Enough talking about God Hand.
That'll do.
No.
I've got one for this episode.
Oh, good. Okay.
Fuck Henry Ford. It's his fault we don't have trains.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, I'm gonna
fuck
follow
Henry
it
Ford.
up. Fuck Elon Musk for all the normal reasons, but also specifically for this one, having single-handedly stifled the development of American rail in the 21st century.
That's correct.
By just going, no, but I have these fake tunnels. Give me $1 billion, please, for my fake tunnels.
And I can build these fake tunnels, and then I can put cars in the tunnels instead. And then we won't ever have to use public transit. It's like,
and
then
you'll
everybody
save
falls for it.
You'll save so much money on developing public transit by instead taking all that money and giving it to me to make nothing.
And doing nothing with it, yeah. So, like, especially fuck Elon Musk, fuck Henry Ford. Trains are cool. Japan makes you insane. But for trains.
Yes. Insane
right?
in the men train.
In the men train, exactly. I will never get over the fact, just like for like one last Japanese thing, like about Japan thing, is that like when you're like 12, you're like a 12-year-old weeaboo, you're like, Japan is the perfect society. It has anime, right?
Exactly.
And then you're like 18 and you're like, never mind, Japan is just like every country on the planet. 18 to 22. Japan is just like every country on the planet, right? It's got its problems. It's not perfect. Being a weeaboo is cringe, right?
Right.
And then you turn like 35 and you take a trip to Japan and you come back and you're like, Japan is the perfect society, actually, because they have functioning trains. And that's it. Yes, I know it has other societal problems, but did you know you can spend $5 on a train and it'll take you anywhere in the city?
Did you know you can go like, I want to go to X place, and then you get on a train and you go there.
And you never have to sit in traffic, and they're never late, and they're clean, and they're efficient, and you never have to drive a car ever.
And if you're somehow late, don't worry. The next one will be there in a few minutes.
It's fine.
And depending where you are, the station master might be a cat in a little hat.
And then you go like, never mind, I changed my mind. Japan is the perfect society. Yes, it has a bunch of other problems, but it's got trains.
Good night, everyone.
Good night.
Good night.
Good night.